can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Hopefully everyone can hear us.
Yeah.
Uh, woohoo!
Can confirm we are audible.
Yay! Alright, hello, my nerdkind. This is still Magicfish Radio, but today we will not be playing Exit to Eden. Instead, we are doing a one-shot of Demon Hunters, which is the tabletop RPG through which myself and Dracus and Mark all met, and also our guest today, Mark Thompson, through Zombie Orpheus Entertainment / Dead Gentleman, the nerdy film company that published this initially. And hi, Merk's in chat. Hi, Merk. I hope your landlord has actually done their job today, because I know those feelings. Anyone who lives in New York City knows those feels.
It's a mood.
It's a mood. All right, so this is not a World of Darkness or D10 based system. This is a Fate hack called Faith Core, where it's like regular Faith, only instead of all the D6 fudge dice, you get to use all of the D&D polyhedrals. It is very fun. I will do a short description of how this game works. After we all introduce yourselves. I'm Ms. Chrysula, and I'm always the GM, so I'm about the same as I was last week. I could not figure out how to get my picture back on that side, so, Drac, who are you?
Hi,
You
I'm
next.
Dracus. I'm playing Shay Blakely this evening, and they're a over-caffeinated pseudo-living college student, also a dorm room necromancer. It's a fun time.
That sounds like you're playing yourself.
Yes, as I said, I'm slowly turning into this character. I wrote her back at the very beginning of college, and now I'm just becoming Shay.
I have run modules for Shay before. Shay is a very fun character. Okay, next, special guest Mark. Who is you? We've traded in Merc for Mark, so prepared to be confused. I am.
Merc and I spend a lot of time online together, and we already deal with that every day. So, I'm Mark Thomason. I am the Zombie Orpheus Entertainment studio manager, and help run and manage all this equipment and everything for Zoe Studios in Tacoma, Washington. Beautiful, smoky Tacoma, Washington.
Beautiful on fire West Coast.
Yeah. So I'm not in the studio right at the moment. I'm at home, ensconced in my house with the filters on the air and everything like that. But I'm going to be playing the role of Cooter Dixon, which you could possibly see me play before on Zombie Orpheus's Twitch channel a couple years ago, I think now. And Cooter is a backwoods wolf hunter, and so he kind of got found in the swamp when he was dealing with a bunch of werewolves trying to eat his crops and stuff like that, and he ran into these demon hunters and started working with them. Simple as that.
Yeah, didn't they? It wasn't so bad with the werewolves until they got his dog.
Yeah, that was when things got real serious.
Oh no. Don't mess with the man's dog. Don't do that. Alright, so next is our demon hunt. I have forced them to playtest Faith Core before, but not Demon Hunters, so this is gonna be an adventure for all of us. So yes, Peter and Alex, who is you?
Hi. I am Alex, aka Summer Splendor. I'm going to be playing London, who is a big dog. He's a very very good boy. He didn't always used to be a good boy. He used to be bad dog. But then he left the bad dog group, and now he's a good dog, the main good dog, a very very good dog, a very good boy. That's me.
You know, what's funny is he also, in London shows up in some of the Demon Hunters movies and has an English accent.
Oh,
If you want. You know, if you
I
want.
can't.
No,
I
oh, you
don't
can't
know
say.
that
Okay. I'm bothered. It's okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know that how I can make this character that accent. Every British character that I do is never like this, and I don't know why the accent.
Just gotta go like both British.
So it just needs to go really, really cockney with it.
Yeah.
Where somebody,
That's it.
somebody's
That's it.
going to be upset with me.
Nope,
But
that's it.
Oh, you're
fine.
bothered.
I ain't bothered.
Perfect.
I mean, I could just be.
That's London is
Be
Cockney.
Cockney.
Go for it.
Yeah, oh, because
That's
it's
the-
from London,
Someone in
mate.
chat has
Hey,
said if it helps, he has a bad English accent.
it's
There
a
you go.
bad English accent.
Is the guy who
He used to
plays
be
him
a
watching
bad
us.
Dog. A very, very bad dog. But now he's a good dog. The goodest dog, the goodest boy in the world.
I'm seeing names in chat I don't recognize. Hello and welcome. Peter, who is you?
Hey,
Yes, I'm Peter, aka Dark Dandy. Tonight I will be playing Victoria, aka the angsty, lol, random teenage goth girl that I was in high school and was again during second puberty, aka right now.
I love you. You're pretty. Sorry, we're gross.
You're
We're a bad
adorable.
couple. Cow, pal. My favorite was when she referred to me as her roommate the other day, and I just fucking died. Sorry, that was a naughty word. I don't know if I should be using naughty language.
Oh no, we're definitely an adults only stream tonight.
Okay.
So if I ever run
Don't
my
corrupt the children.
well, I mean, we can't really stop children from watching us. I don't know how
Yeah.
Twitch does things, but we strongly advise you not watch us if you're under 18 or under 14. I don't know.
Under 14, I think.
Hold on, I forgot to print
Fair,
the
only
adventure.
bad thing that I said there was just like a naughty word.
So yes,
Like a thing.
so yes, chat. I will now print out the adventure so I could just keep focus on the video chat while we're doing this. So yes, this tonight we were. I was thinking of using 5 minutes to mayhem to roll up.
Hey, Chris,
From this book.
something just went weird with the
Oh,
way
no.
it's outputting.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
darn it! Hold it. I know what happened. Did it? Yeah. Okay. So I can't maximize this window. Okay, so I can't full screen my Zoom window because it is a window capture of the Zoom window. Fun.
Gotcha.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep the OBS open and use that. Because also, whenever I put the cursor over the Zoom window, I get the weird thingy on the bottom, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. Because I am secretly a Luddite. Not that secret. Okay, so this all comes from this book. I got the shiny copy. Mwah. And this was the first game I got sucked into a live stream for thanks to Merc Herqui, because Zoe's game run by Dom several months ago was maybe a player short, and so Merc did the equivalent of the lead actress has broken her ankle and boots the costume mistress on stage who happens to know all the lines, and I was like, oh dear. Maybe I'll link to it on my Twitter. Is it what? Are you okay, Alex?
My laptop is misbehaving, but that's okay.
There
Okay,
we go.
that'll be fine.
There it is.
Hey, okay.
Everyone's having computer issues.
It's working. Where'd Chris go?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
oh,
okay.
printer. Sorry, my printer is not done yet. Anyway, but I still have to teach y'all how the game works. So like I said, this is fate-based, so there are conditions instead of health boxes. And there are aspects, approaches, and disciplines. And if you're going to do a thing that you can't just role-play or justify your way through, all you have to do is build a dice pool with an approach and a discipline, and extra d6s for your aspects. And then on top of that, you get stunts, which give you sometimes more dice, sometimes a bonus to your roll. So this is also a game where it's fun to fail, so rolling ones, while they are botches, can also lead you to gaining more dice for later. That's fun. So we're going to look at London's character sheet, because that's what I have printed out. Actually, this is Zoom, so it's backwards, isn't it? Yep, it's backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Woohoo! Backwards Zoom. Okay. So London has the aspects rescued from the because he's a werewolf. Rescued from the pound. Can't resist a game of fetch. From Alpha Wolf to Alpha One. Who's a good boy? Me. I'm a good boy.
I'm
And
a good boy. I'm
and
a very good boy.
and studied in sabotage under terrorist terriers. So those are both things that inform the role playing of the character in whatever way the player wishes. But can also, if justified, they can add 1d6 for each of these aspects to an appropriate roll. So each one of you starts with 3 faith dice. So, faith dice. Nice, happy little d6s. This faith dice are a limited commodity on your character sheet. So you can use them to add your own aspects to your role, or to team aspects, and I will get to that when we start the role-playing part. Or scene aspects, which are things you can discover in the scene that can either help or hinder you depending on the GM's humor. After that, everyone, so I know it's backwards, but bear with me, aspects, and then similar to in White Wolf, how you have an attribute and a skill, you have approaches and disciplines. And how good you are in either an approach or discipline is indicated by how big of a dice you get to roll for that. So again, London only has a d6 for clever, but has a d10 for flashy. So he's a fun character to have in your party if you want things to be fun and dramatic. And similar disciplines. Oddly enough, he only has a d6 in combat and tactics, which is a surprise to me, but he has a d10 in fringe werewolf, which some demon hunters have because they are not entirely human. And I believe Victoria also is fringe animate. Is Shay fringe? Does Shay have a fringe this one? Because she's or they just
believe so.
yeah, they are
They do
technically an
not.
alive human at the moment.
Yeah.
That was not always, they were not always alive. So if they had
And may not always be alive in the future.
hashtag that ghost life,
I have
Go-
definitely
can ghosts have life?
conveniently discorporated and possessed villains before.
Yes. Or just like, my body's under attack, I'm just gonna leave it behind and go outside the van. Okay. Hi, mole ninjas. Yeah, you can't hit me because I'm a ghost. Bye, mole ninjas. That was a fun one.
Ghosts can have an afterlife, Arcane.
Ghosts can have an afterlife. Or a second life. And I believe Cooter is human, so Cooter does not have a fringe.
No, he's just really good at hunting werewolves. That's about it. Oh wait,
Oh.
what?
So the thing about the demon hunters, like I said, this is a world a bit like the World of Darkness, except all of the myths and legends are true. So yes, the world was created in 7 days, and I forget the Judeo-Christian version of God name. That God, divided the heaven and the earth, and then Lucifer fell and all the stuff. But also, the world was created when someone cut open the belly of a dragon and released all of the waters of life. So there are werewolves, cryptids, mad scientists, sorcerers, fae, all of the things. And there are those that just want to be left alone and do their thing. And then there are the things that go bump in the night. And when the forces of evil go bump in the night, the demon hunters bump back? Is one of the
Sure.
taglines.
It works. More ways than one sometimes.
And sometimes in
Very,
the course of duty, a demon hunter's chapter will find, a redneck Batman in the backwoods also hunting werewolves, and like, hey, you're really good at this, Cooter, why don't you join us? And Cooter, why not? Cooter probably could have kept hunting werewolves.
Like a lot easier hunting werewolves and vampires and stuff than it is running a farm. I'll tell you that.
In this day and age with the taxes, oh yeah. So yes, we're not going to get much into chapter letters, numbers, designations because I set up in my Gen Con games, I've set up New York City kind of as its own thing, which we will get into. So I think you two are in the same chapter, but Shay is probably an Omega, and Cooter is what designation?
Epsilon 18.
Epsilon 18. So there is a bit of a hierarchy, but in New York City, all that kind of flies out the window because New York City needs some damn help right now. They're like, throw the hierarchy out the window. Help. We can't give you money, but we need your help. It is a bit ridiculous. But yeah, so does anyone... Oh, so one thing I didn't get to on the character sheet. So when you're building your dice pool, you add an approach to a discipline, use any applicable stunts, use any applicable aspects, and then there's something else you can add to your dice pool, which is my favorite part of the game, which are the demon dice, which you can spend up to 3 of them on any dice roll, and these are an unlimited resource that refresh with every dice roll. And they are your friends. And whenever you spend a demon dice to add to your roll, I get one to add to my rolls on my NPCs the way y'all use faith dice. So it is one of my favorite parts of the game is the secondary game of would you like to spend some demon dice?
Demon dice scary, but absolutely worth it.
There are some stunts on some sheets that require the use of demon dice, and then there are players who are just like, I'm going to use 3 demon dice on every roll. Just make sure you tell me if you roll a 1, because that's something I need to know. Hold on.
Things happen when ones are rolled.
Fun things. Well, I mean fun for me.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. Okay. So, let me make sure I have all of my stuff printed out. Because I knew I'd forgotten to do something before we started. And that. Okay. So. And a stapler. Because I am a nerd. And I broke my stapler because I am a nerd. Never mind. I did. Let me just pass them to you. Oh, wait. Yeah, so usually, if any of you happen to go to Gen Con and want to play this game, we will be running it probably at every future Gen Con, hopefully in the future, if this quarantine ever ends. Zombie Orpheus has just a big gaming room full of people running this game all day and all night, and it's awesome, and I'm usually there, and Drac is usually there. Marcus, you go to Gen Con, right? Yeah. You've gone to Gen Con.
I'm usually behind the scenes because I actually do a lot of the filming at the main stage and stuff like that. So you can catch me at the booth in between stuff, but if there's anything going on the main stage, I'm in there.
I talked to you at Gen Con last time we were there. It was a good time.
Yeah.
All the Gen Cons have kind of blended together in my brain, so I don't remember who was it which one. My brain.
Yeah, and
Spoony
I was
brain.
definitely within, talking distance of Chris at that Gen Con, but we didn't know each other yet. But,
Whoops.
She had a conversation with Chris Odie that I remember overhearing because I was standing right there.
Yes, it's also where I met, Hellcat came to my table. She's like, you have sparkly lipstick on. I'm going to be in your game. And she's also a member of our GM roundtable for Demon Hunters. It's been a little quiet because, we're all tired or busy and the world is ending. And my desktop audio, oh no, my desktop audio is still on. Okay, it's just being weird. Chat, feel free to tell us if anything goes wrong technologically. We used OBS last week. This is our first week using Zoom and OBS, so we will see what happens. Does anyone at the table have any more questions about the game system?
I'm good.
Because there are 4 kinds of rolls you can make, but we can get to those as we can burn those bridges as we cross them. Actually, I regret making that joke given the West Coast is on fire. I retract this joke.
Oof.
Sorry, guys.
Bridge boy or girl?
What
Oh.
gender is the bridge, though? That's the real question.
Does it burn blue or pink? This in this town, the bridge's gender is New Yorker. Damn it. So, like I said, so
That makes more sense as a gender than like the binary male female. Yes. Like,
Yeah.
trying to define exactly what a gender is like New Yorker works. I get that. I know exactly what that means.
So yeah, New York. So,
NYNB.
so like I said, I've been developing New York City as a setting for Demon Hunters. I might publish my modules one day. It depends on if I ever have the spoons to do fun things again and not just survive the apocalypse. Hashtag spoonie problems. Oh well. But as I've been developing, so if you want to run a game in New York, you can run it however you want. You do not have to do it my way, because again, in Demon Hunters, all the legends are true. And even when you get into a conversation that came up on one of the Demon Hunters boards was Fey lore. All the lore is true, even when it contradicts itself. And that is what New York is like. 2 stories
Yeah.
that completely contradict each other can still both be completely true.
Yeah.
For this and many reasons, officially the Demon Hunter chapter in New York City is Theta 5. And New York City didn't really have a whole lot of Demon Hunter related activity for the first few hundred years. Like, it had a Theta chapter, it had maybe a couple of Omega chapters, and those are like the bottom rung noob chapters. Is everything okay, Alex?
I have no idea. You're saying words, and I'm just. Yep.
Okay. Well, you can rewatch the VOD and, maybe parse it from there.
Are you confused on what a chapter is? Is that part of it?
Yeah, I don't know what an Omega chapter
It's
or
your D&D
whatever it is.
party.
Yeah.
So do you know the Latin alphabet at all?
Yes, I know the. Yes, I went to the school with the best Greek system in the country. Hey, yeah.
So the
Oh,
structure.
true. Oh,
Just really quick, the structure of how Demon Hunter chapters are organized. A chapter is somewhere between like
Still
4
backwards.
and 10 members of a chapter, usually about 6.
Okay.
And they're a team that it works together to go out and accomplish missions and things. And so for each letter of the alphabet, there it is. You
Don't
get
worry
a really good graphic right there. Each letter of the alphabet has that many teams. So like Alpha, there's Alpha 1, and that's it. And Beta has 2 teams, Beta 1 and Beta 2, and so on. And so you get down to like Omega, and it has 24 or whatever it is.
Omega has an unlimited number of Omega teams
That's right, Omega
because
has actually
Demon
more, so-
Hunters don't always have a long lifespan. Basically, if you survive being an Omega, you get to join a higher ranking team later on, or if your whole Omega group survives, you can get promoted if another team is wiped out. Also,
which happens a
the
lot.
higher ranked your team is, the more likely they are to call you in for something seriously dangerous. So Omegas are like, some kids went missing. They could just be off camping or looking at a dead body, or there might be a werewolf. We don't know.
Conversely, the higher ranked you are, the less likely you are to be called in on cleanup duty.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Where are we?
You are both actually in the Alpha 1 team.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Mostly
Hey!
mostly for treachery. So you were both part of a team that was I think it was a beta team that kind of worked with the other side to make the Alpha 1 team get destroyed and then join the Alpha 1 team.
So that's what alpha means on my character sheet. Not that I'm a
Yes.
top dog. Not that
And then I'm down here on Upsilon 18, so it's a little different on my end of it.
So, like I said, New York City is typically Theta 5 with maybe a couple Omega teams because, you find new people or sorcerers join up. And it's New York City, like, tons of people come here, including supernatural people. But for the most part, you don't come to New York City to be seen. You come to New York City to just escape something else and live your damn life. Or unlife. Because there are vampires here, that's fine. The leader of Theta 5 is an ancient Nosferatu-y vampire called Stogie. No one knows what his real name is. No one really wants to ask. But in 2008, despite many corporate groups in the West Village fighting actively by just like throwing money at each other and lobbyists and craziness, they decided to renovate Washington Square Park. What the humans didn't understand is that the original Washington Square Park was designed to be one gigantic anti-demonic glyph because there's a street nearby Washington Square Park called Minetta Lane that used to be the Minetta River. And in the days of the Dutch settlers, it was the Hell River. That wasn't just because it sounded creepy. The mouth of the Hell River went to what is now Washington Square Park. And since the days of that, it's been a burial ground for many less privileged peoples who have lived in New York City or on the island of Manhattan since the English or Dutch arrived. After that, it's been a mass graveyard. It's been a hangman's field with a potter's field next to it. And in real life, when they started renovating in 2008, they had to stop renovation pretty much every 6 hours for at least 2 days at a time because they kept finding new human remains. And even if they've clearly been there for hundreds of years, if you find human remains on a construction site, you have to call the police. It is generally accepted that they probably kept finding them after the first few weeks of this and just stopped reporting them. But yeah, so a great big hell... So Washington Square is a literal hell mouth. It is the mouth of a hell river. It is now starting to crack open since 2008. So for the last decade or so, demonic and other activity has skyrocketed in New York City. There are now at least a dozen Omega teams at any given time, because while Theta 5 is asking, can we have another higher ranked team, it has also been stuck in the red tape of bureaucracy with the rest of the Brotherhood for a decade. With all this problem stuff happening, Theta 5 decided to start a new program, which is why you all, while you are working together in today's adventure, you have the group aspect, vigilante tourism. What Theta 5 does, what Theta 5 does is offer other demon hunters from all over the world. If you want to come in and help us fight some demon shit, we will get you tickets to Hamilton. Or whatever else you might want to do while you're here. Because there are new artifacts, or new old artifacts being discovered. Mad scientists running rampant. Vampires trying to do vampire bullshit. It is ridiculous. But yeah, so you are vigilante tourists. So, remember when I said you had faith dice? You can use your faith, if you want to invoke that aspect, you can use that vigilante tourism to add this extra d6 to your pool. Because you are all vigilante tourists. And this is New York City as I have written it in this universe. It was a relatively quiet place for a long time until some humans fucked it up. But wouldn't the park look so much better after a $2 billion renovation so that the arch is in line with the fountain? And it's like... So, yeah. So any of you who have those kind of supernatural senses, if you've been to New York... I don't think that it really applies to any of you. But yeah, New York City feels more evil than maybe the last time you were here. So yes, you all arrive
Is
at...
it possible for it to feel more evil than the last time I was here?
Oh, not Shay's been here before. It's fine. Shay knows the drill. So y'all come into LaGuardia Airport, and then, there is a cipher, which is a kind of robot that the Brotherhood uses to add a tech aspect to their chapters sometimes. A cipher picks you up in what would be an unmarked white van, except it is covered in graffiti. Shay, you recognize some of this graffiti as arcane glyphs. But
Is this the van that I graffitied with arcane glyphs?
no, that was in Spain.
Okay.
That was another van. But it does look...
I did this.
It does look remarkably similar. This van will, no questions asked, take you to Central Queens, where above a dress barn is a level of offices in a commercial block, and it's just a very... The dress barn is now closed, not because of COVID, it was already closed. In just this little, strip mall across from a slightly larger mall in Central Queens, where you're between two highways, and it's just sort of, it's Queens. Approaching the office door, you see this glyph, not embossed, but just sort of inscribed in this wooden door. Opening it, none of you are incinerated because you are all members of the Brotherhood. You see at the other side, there's a kitchen. Well, you see to your right, there's a kitchenette. To your left, there's a door to nowhere. And right in front of you is a big wooden desk and a woman with an eye patch. Shay, you know that this woman is Fran, who is an official member of Theta 5 and also the daytime dispatch for all of the demon hunters at large in New York City. He's like, so, thank you for visiting. And she fans out several New York City Metro cards on her desk. These are all unlimited for 1 week. They also include a chip that will get you into the warehouse. Do not let warehouse doors close, because thanks to the demonic interference from Washington Square Park, it's been messing with the warehouse doors. So just don't let them close behind you. If they do, we can't guarantee you can come back to exactly the same spot you left from. Just putting that out there. But on the upside, if that happens and you at least come back to New York, you have an unlimited Metro card. So have fun with that. And that a Metro card, this will get you onto the subways and buses without you having to pay any cash. Not that the subways take cash anymore, but yeah. So unlimited Metro card to go anywhere on the subways or bus or mass transit in New York City. I would not advise LIRR. Like, I can hook you up, but don't go to Long Island. Just don't go to Long Island. Alright, so if you're all up for it, we've already got a case for you. All of our Omega teams, including the one in the village, they're all occupied right now. So, yeah. Oh, the other chapter aspect is we don't validate parking. Because they little money that they had to relocate their base office to Central Queens, to Rego Park, Queens. Guess why. Anywho, so I've already got a case for you. If you guys want to hit the ground running. All right, so police. So we picked up from the cops. We have an interesting relationship with the NYPD. Interesting. So 10 undergrad students have gone missing at Cooper Union. They're not in the dorms. They haven't been to their classes. Am I frozen? Can you still hear me?
Still hear you.
I can hear
but
you,
frozen.
but I can't
Okay.
see you.
All right.
There you are!
Yay! I'm alive! So yeah.
Sometimes the secretary gets a little... I think she might be a robot.
Fran is definitely
she's-
not a robot.
She just
I dunno,
stares
I've
at
seen
London.
people freeze like that. It sounds like a robot thing.
Van
I
Damme.
ain't no robot. Do not fuck with me, understand, kid?
I mean, robots are cool. I like them.
They're okay. Yes.
I hope you know I'm on my like third cup of coffee already since walking into
Oh,
this office.
there's a coffee service in
Oh,
the
I know there
kitchenette.
is.
It's better when Granny Flax is on night dispatch, but Fern's okay at coffee. The nighttime
Relax,
dispatch
real
is much better at coffee. Uh, all right. So yeah, I ain't no robot. Anyway, so a bunch of I don't have to the eye patch thing. So these kids haven't been heard from in 3 days. So the missing investigation thing just started yesterday because they're all legal adults. So this could just be regular missing persons thing, but there's also one of our mystics is picking up some weird radiation coming from the Cooper Union Foundation building. So, do any of you know anything about the village? No? Okay.
I'm gonna say no.
Pretty cool, you know. I mean, there's like all kinds of like gothy stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, not anymore. All the St. Mark's shops closed. Some of our Omegas are very sad. Yeah, it sucks. Replaced all the good used CD shops with mediocre pretend Japanese restaurants. It's weird. Anyway, Cooper Union is maybe 2 or 3 blocks away from Washington Square. So it's not the same radiation that we get off of that nightmare, but it's close enough that we think it bears investigation. So we don't have a cipher for you, but Granny put together a sentient piece of software that can upgrade your cell phones into ciphers. So,
That sounds like a robot thing. I mean,
That's
I don't know much
definitely
about
a robot
robots,
thing.
but that's
Well,
definitely a robot thing.
Granny
I mean,
is a
I'm not
robot.
saying,
So-
I like robots. I saw that one show on the TV. Had the robots. It was in space and they lived in a cube. I mean,
What's this thing
like,
that'll
was
make my
it-
cell phone a cipher?
let me, and she takes up her own cell phone and is like,
there's that cube in the middle of Cooper Square.
she has trouble with it, so you know what? Hold on. And I'm gonna text Granny, and she's gonna send you it from her own cell phone, wherever the fuck she is. So yeah, Shay, you get a call from someone named Granny Flax, so you,
Okay.
what? Hello, dear. I'm just sending some sentient software to your cell phone. Don't even
Okay.
worry about it. It's
I wasn't
fun, I
going to.
promise. All right.
Thanks.
So,
Scooter pulls out a 20-year-old flip phone, set it for a second, puts it back in his pocket.
actually, that you get a sense that it's trying to download something like an oversized, like when someone tries to send you a picture on your flip phone and it kind of goes because it's a flip phone. You're not sure if it worked or not. Might take rolls later, but yeah. So Shay, you have the cell phone cipher.
Hell yeah.
Does anyone else want a cell phone cipher?
I mean, I like robots, so I'll take one on my phone.
Okay. So yeah, you also get a weird download from someone named Granny Flax, who is also in this setting because I love
I was
that
gonna
character.
Say, is this the same character?
This is
that's in the
basically.
space game?
She's so fun though, and she is. We'll get into that. We'll see if you. Maybe in a later adventure you'll meet the Night Dispatch, but yeah. So some old lady, the actual name Granny sends you, cipher download. Doop-a-doo. And yeah, you all have cell phone ciphers. All right, so like I said, we have a tenuous relationship with the NYPD. If you find out this is just mundane bullshit or, well, mundane tragedy, let me know and I can tip it off to the right authorities. You don't have to do that yourselves. Likewise, if some serious weird shit's going on, take care of it and we will. If you can minimize property damage, that's helpful. But, save as many innocents as you can. I know in that part of town, the innocents are not very You won't have a lot of empathy for them, but still, you know.
Okay. But like, if you had to pick one, which is more important? Like, should I save the people, or should I like, not smash the thing? Like, if I
What
had
kind
to
of a question
choose
is that,
just-
London?
between
Come
the
on.
two,
They're just hipsters. They don't count.
well, sometimes you can't avoid one or the other, and you have to choose. So, like, which one's more important?
Try to save the people.
Okay, save the
Fine.
people. I'm good at that.
I mean, the buildings in the village aren't that tall, so it's not as bad as, say, Midtown if something weird happens, so. Alright. So, do you guys want to, suit up before you head out? I'm not sure whether, there may or may not be a warehouse door. We're having some trouble keeping track of them. I have a warehouse door right there. Just prop it open. Also, and she motions around the room, Cooter, you suddenly notice that there are firearms hidden all over this office. Like, under the desk and behind the counter and inside the lampshades. There are just weapons everywhere. There are katanas in the umbrella case that at first you thought were umbrella. No, they're katanas. It's like, no, that one is an umbrella with the katana handle. Okay. But, so, anything y'all want to pick up, pick up.
I want that umbrella.
Sword.
Oh, did Shay bring their own sword?
Probably.
Okay. Yeah, she's also got duffel bags. She's like,
I
all
got
right,
my
so
preferred sword.
just
Cold iron.
don't open carry on the subway. Just keep it in a duffel bag.
But what about
I'm on
my
the fencing
umbrella?
team, remember?
What was that, London?
I want that umbrella though. Can I not carry the umbrella?
Well, you can take it. You need an umbrella. All right.
That one. The sword one. I want that one.
Well, that's actually an umbrella. It's the
I
one
want
next
that
to it
too.
is the sword. All right. All right. If everyone could keep track of what weapons they are picking up, that will be helpful later.
You never
However,
know, it might need an umbrella.
so this is where we come
Don't want to catch
to
cold.
potential for a kind of dice roll called building an advantage. So if someone wants to build an advantage and add some extra d6s that your team can then use on future rolls, who would like to build an advantage?
Sure.
Okay. So London is walking around this office sniffing for weapons and finding a lot of them. All right, so Victoria is weapon.
Just
I'll take
like
as many nuts
gently
as you got.
pushing London's forehead away as
It's
he
like,
gets
sniff,
too
sniff.
close.
Yeah, there's definitely something in Shay's
They're a very good weapon.
Shay's stuff.
Dang.
Okay. Always fun having a werewolf on your team. All right, so choose an approach and a discipline. Alex, are you doing the roll?
How do I roll?
Choose an approach and a discipline.
Okay, I should pull up the character sheet, which I
Yep.
have at the ready. It is. Okay, so I am going to be, I guess, quick and, is this combat and tactics, or?
I would allow that since you are sourcing weapons for a team effort.
Okay, so that's a D8 and a D6?
And are there any faith
D8 was
dice?
a 1.
Huh?
So the D8 was a 1, and the D6
Is loading.
is loading. Because my computer is slow. It's 2 1s!
Oof. Oof.
Okay, so this is still a teaching moment. So the minimum to get in my games, some people will have you roll up to a 5, but it's like if you only need a 5 to get it, like I'm not going to make you roll. So to build an advantage, you need to get at least a 10. At which point you will have 1 dice on this new aspect, which are, like Team Arsenal, unless you want to come up with a funnier name. A 15 is a succeed with style, and that gets you 2 dice. And as I developed in my metaverse module, 3 is a physics be damned, and would get, or 20 is a physics be damned, and would get you 3 extra d6s. And I usually just count it out. If people really want to load it, like, I'm not going to say no, because it's a one-shot. And, yeah, so you rolled a 1 on both your approach and your discipline dice. So that means what you can do is each one of those entitles you to take an additional faith dice and add them to your pool. Since you haven't rolled anything yet, you would have, it says on the top of your character sheet, faith dice.
It's got a blank spot.
Well, it also has the 3. That's because you're
devotion.
supposed to print it out and write in that circle a 3 for you have 3 faith dice.
Oh.
So
Now you have 5.
Now you have 5 because you rolled 2 1s, and because you rolled those 2 1s, you could roll 1 or both of those new faith dice now to add to that roll, so it is not a 2.
I'm gonna roll 1. Is it a
Okay.
D10?
So just so you know, you're starting at a 2. If you max at a 6, you will only get to 8, and you need at least a 10 to get 1d6 on this aspect.
So I need to roll 2, and they're both D6s?
Yes, so you can roll 2
Okay.
additional d6s.
Roll again.
Watch
A
us get 2 more.
3. So that's a 5. Okay. And now
Oh my god.
a 3.
Okay, so you still only rolled an 8, so now you're back down to 3 faith dice, and so London just keeps sniffing and kind of has what Sluggy Freelance fans would call ferret shock, where there are just so many weapons around that you're just sort of like overwhelmed, and you're just like, I don't know what to take. I don't know what to take.
So
Someone
many
tell me what to take.
smells.
Cooter, would you also like to try this roll?
Cooter doesn't trust anything a werewolf's going to do, so he's going straight for the warehouse.
Okay.
He's going to head on to the warehouse, make sure his door's propped open.
Yep, it has a
We
little.
need an advantage.
So
He's
for
gonna
those.
be in there for just like 2 minutes, come right back out, and he's going to have an entire like hiking style backpack on his back filled with stuff.
Yay!
He's
All
like,
right.
all right, I'm ready.
All right, what is, so do you want to build a dice pool and make this a team aspect?
Sure, might as well.
So we can see how it goes, you know. So, pick an approach and a discipline. And
we're gonna do this forceful. And you said it's a combat and tactics makes sense.
yeah,
It's a
that makes
thing.
sense.
And this is definitely vigilante tourism, so
Mhm.
I'm gonna use one of those dice.
So you can use a faith dice for that, but that comes from your own faith dice pool.
Right. And I got a 14.
Okay, so if you got it to a 15, you would have 2 dice on that aspect. Would you like to roll some demon dice?
Nah, no thanks.
Are you
I'm not a fan of
sure?
those demon balls. They are.
Are you sure? Demondis, they are your friends.
I don't think they are.
I think they are. They
They're
totally
your
are.
friends, maybe.
Okay. Just so you know, I start out with 4 demon dice because I have 4 players. 4, yes, I counted correctly. Okay, so aspect, personal team arsenal, or portable arsenal. And 1d6 on that. The way I've been running aspects like this is once you spend that d6, it is gone. However, I let people use their own faith dice to use those kinds of aspects if they want. You can also build an advantage later to refill an empty aspect or upgrade it in some cases.
Oh wait, so I burned my aspects and I can't use them?
No, you just burn the faith dice.
Okay.
You got 2 extra faith dice from rolling ones, and then you immediately used them, but you still didn't make the roll.
Okay.
Unless, I mean, I remember you got an 8. Do you want to add some Demondis? Some additional d6s that have no strings attached at all, and then add another. Drop my demon dice. Add some more aspect. Add more d6s to that aspect in case you need to weapon at something later.
Listen to Nancy Reagan. Just say no.
I mean, nah, it's fine. I just like smells. I think he's going to just like grab something at random. It's probably going to be something that looks really cool, but is probably not worth a lot.
He probably just grabs. He gets confused and just grabs that umbrella with the katana handle.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yes!
You
So
could totally use it as a bludgeoning weapon. It's just not the most efficient thing in this room. By a
anyway,
long
But
shot.
if it rains, I will be covered.
You're right.
indeed.
It'll be dry.
All right. So from here, Fran gives you directions with a helpful map and a laser pointer on how to use the trains to get from Rego Park, Queens, to Cooper Square, more or less. Is there anything anyone wants to do on their any additional suiting up anyone wants to do while they're at HQ?
I mean,
There are bagels.
I probably stock up my basic witchcraft kit so that when I need to go do magic, I have things with which to do magic.
Yep, there's a warehouse door. You have access to all the. So for those of you who haven't seen the setting before, the warehouse is full of maybe not super important artifacts, but any kind of mundane weapon or material you can think of, they have it in the warehouse. Weapons, food, survival gear, and typically it's only the chapter leader that has an artifact, something that opens the door to the warehouse, but this is my game, so y'all get one. And also, you're tourists. You probably know the warehouse.
Grab a bacon cheeseburger.
There's no burger. There's a bagel spread in the kitchen.
There's anything in the warehouse.
That's true.
You can
Yeah.
probably get a cheeseburger.
You probably have a cheeseburger. It might be like a freeze-dried astronaut version of a cheeseburger, or one of the what are those army meals at
MREs.
MRE at MRE. I mean, there's also bagels in the kitchen.
And a bagel with lox and cream cheese.
That yeah.
Because this is New York and that's what we do here.
They're really good
I
bagels.
Fit in very well.
Only New York bagels are good. I am a local. Hello.
I am from here, fellow New Yorkers. Hello.
Hello, other rabbits. I am also a rabbit. Anyway, all right. Shay, would you like to create that as an advantage that you can draw upon later?
Sure.
So build me a dice pool.
Gonna be clever mystic arts because at this point I've put together this adventuring witchcraft kit so many times. I know what's going in here and what I might need for this specific thing going on.
Yeah, and you know that the occult shop in the East Village isn't as good as it used to be.
Yeah.
We don't have to name it because that's me.
I rolled a 1 on one of those. I rolled a 9 on the other, so I got a 10.
You got a 10, so you got at least one. Would you like to, you get a faith dice for the one. You can use that now or save it for later. Or, add some of these little friends if you want more than one d6.
I think I will save my die for later and just take the 10 for the moment. Because
Okay.
I'm good at improvising if I don't have a solution available. So if I missed something on this go round, it'll be fine.
Okay. All right. So what are you calling your aspect?
Kind of a fan of adventuring witch kit.
Okay. And you are allowed to use each other's aspects. Just, ask first. So yeah. But I think you are technically the only sorcerer in the group.
I think I am this time.
Yeah. Technically, anyone can add to a sorcery roll or try to help, since you all technically have mystic arts. But I think most of you will have a D4 in it, which means you're not very good.
But I can tell you, here, stand here and hold this thing.
Oh yeah.
I can do that. I'm a very good boy, I am.
All right. So
I'm sure you can.
we will hand wave. You taking the subway to the East Village. Because these are basically the subway ride and the ride from the airport are often how I train new players into the Faith Core system. Like, okay, you have to get from LaGuardia to Rego Park. How? Build me a dice pool. But that is a bit easier to do in person at the table. And at least half of my players already know New York, so they would have an unfair advantage. Anywho, so yeah, Fran will be available on dispatch for the duration of your adventure, at least until the sun goes down, and at that point, usually Granny Flax takes over. But at this point, it's about noon, so there's a night. The bagels were nice and fresh in the kitchen. They're really good bagels, guys. Pizza is a spectrum. Bagels are not. I say this as someone with celiac disease who can no longer eat the good bagels. Sad face. Anywho.
Coffee is coffee, and
Yeah.
I have lots of it.
I don't know if I've heard that.
Okay.
I got that Starbucks stuff. I don't know what that is. That ain't coffee.
I like my coffee like I like my makeup. Dark.
I don't know. I'm a fan of the cobbler's crystals.
Cobbler's crystals. Now there's some coffee.
I once had
Okay.
a lot of coffee, and then they told me that I was a little bit too much, so I wasn't allowed to have coffee anymore. It was a very strange time, but I loved it. It was very fun. I really like coffee. Can I have coffee? I like coffee.
Keeping the coffee away from you, then.
Okay,
It's like
so
getting very possessive of my coffee mug.
I've put a
But
link
had a
in the
pumpkin
chat.
pie season. I heard that was fun.
I've put a link in the Twitch chat. If anyone wants to put that into the Zoom chat, that would be great, because if I play with my Zoom
Okay.
window, it throws everything off. Because I did not think this through. Next time. So yes, you take the... I'm not going to plot this out in my head. I could, but I'm not going to. But yeah, so you get from Central Queens to the East Village, and the trains are fine. And as long as none of you do anything ridiculous, no one is going to bother. For better or worse, a bunch of white people, one of whom has an enormous backpack, and another has a huge duffel bag, and another has an umbrella.
You don't get any weapons?
I've got none. That's good.
That works.
What is it? Victoria, part of you was probably a ninja. Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah,
Which
that
is
works.
from the movie, which you haven't seen. Okay. Maybe for the next time we run Demon Hunters, I'll have a purple ninja cameo set up, but I do not have one for this adventure. Okay. Alright, where are we? Oh, no, that's the cast? Okay. So, y'all arrive at this building. As you come out of, we'll say the sixth,
What happened? Oh,
What?
we can't hear you, love.
Oh no. Can't hear me?
Things went away.
I can
I
still
can
see.
hear you.
I can't hear any. No.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Is this? Wait, Chris, can you say something again?
Hi.
There we are.
Oh,
Okay.
there we go. Okay.
All right.
I don't know what
Phew.
that was.
Everything's fine here now. How are you? Okay, so y'all get to the foundation building. Is that what it's called? Yes. Which is the main building of Cooper Union and is a weird-looking old building in New York City. The buildings in the East Village are only maybe like 4 stories tall. Yeah, they go up to 10 stories. But these aren't skyscrapers. In front of this big brown building is kind of a little. There's several streets kind of crossing each other, and in the middle is a traffic island with a giant cube on it sitting on its corner. Oh wait, like a D6 sitting on its corner. You see,
Giant.
huh?
Giant?
Yes, it's about 8 feet wide. You see a bunch of kids kind of run up to it going, the cube, and they start pushing at one side and then realize they're doing it the wrong, and push the other side and it starts to spin.
That doesn't look right.
Huh.
What I,
That looks fun, baby. Gosh.
I want to spin the cube.
roll to
I'm
spin
gonna
the
run
cube.
over and I'm gonna like.
Fine, if it'll get you to calm down.
Just like
spin.
shove
I go
kids out of
spin-
the way.
I grab one of the corners and I feel like I am very, very strong and over enthusiastically like shove it to make it spin really fast.
Okay, I want you to, let's say this is overcoming an obstacle, so build me a dice pool
Okay, here we go.
for practice.
That would be, I want to say, it's either forceful or flashy.
You can
But
be,
I feel
that
like-
either works.
I feel like I kind of want to show off. Okay, so
Flashy?
flashy, and that's going to be, I guess, would fringe werewolf be part of it because I'm using my super werewolf strength?
Sure. Yeah, do that.
Okay. Yes. Ha! Okay, 2d10. Okay,
1 and 1.
a 6 and a 5. I got 11.
Okay, you succeeded. So yeah, all these small, gangly college students are like pushing the cube slowly, and then a bunch of them sort of fall down as you like boosh shoulder check it and start going around in a circle, and you are in such happy puppy land. So that's happening, and the cops kind of look at you.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go like try to blend into these other college kids and be like,
Some
"You
of them
believe
look.
this guy.
Yeah.
What's up with that?" And like make a spectacle, more of a spectacle out of London than he's making of himself, and try to get some information from these people as they answer my nonchalant questions about London. And maybe
Okay.
I'll pick up some info about the cube.
Okay, do you want this to overcoming an obstacle, or do you want to build an advantage?
Let's build an advantage.
Okay. Build me a dice pool.
I think this would be clever social engineering.
Yes.
That's why I'm not doing it.
Oh, I rolled 2 2s.
Well, would you like to roll some demand?
I'll roll 1.
Okay, you can roll them one at a time.
Yeah,
You know, you don't have to roll all 3 at once.
rolled a 5 on that, so now I'm at 9.
Okay, you just
How
need
is
one
that looking?
more. You need a 10 to get at least 1d6 on it. You could just roll one more.
You know what? Demon dice make it interesting.
Yes, yes,
So,
they do.
And even if I roll a 1 and something bad happens now, I'm still creating the advantage
Mm-hmm.
because I'm still getting to the 10.
Yes.
I rolled another 5, so I'm at
Yay.
14.
Okay. I mean, one more, and you get to succeed with
No.
style.
I'm good.
This is the dance I love. My audio is kind of low. Okay. Let me.
Just dropped at some point.
Is it louder now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds louder to us.
Great. We'll go with that. Unfortunately, my audio is now tied to the OBS, so if something is weird is happening with that, then
I mean, you should have a slider for your audio on OBS, right?
I do, and it's all the way up.
Hmm.
Oh,
So
eh.
yeah.
Gotta love when that happens.
Yep.
Anywho, at least my players can hear me. So what do you want to call this aspect?
College gossip.
Garrett.
Okay, and that's got 1d6 on it. All right. So so what are you generally like? Yeah, they'll talk to you. One of them might be a drug dealer, but they're still talking to you.
I expect that.
This is the cube. There's always a drug dealer there. That's just the rules.
Yeah.
Unless the cube is away for cleaning. Anyway, can you tell I went to NYU, which is right next to Cooper Union. Anywho, Shay, so what kind of questions is Shay asking? Because, yeah, it's, you're another college student. You might not look like a Cooper Union person, but NYU is enormous. So, yeah, what do you ask?
Probably just try to figure out, like, what everyone's fascination with the cube is.
You do find
And
out.
how weird is it that London has just, like, shoved people out of the way? Like, is this a weird occurrence, or do other people shove people out of the way to play with the cube?
It's that happens, especially if someone's high. Like, they're mostly just assuming he's high, because this is the village, or what's left of it. They do tell you that it's actually called the Alamo, and it's some kind of art installation. They just don't remember if it's specifically from a Cooper Union art project or something else. So it's like an interactive art installation thing that's just been there forever.
How long is forever?
Like since the 80s.
Okay.
That's forever when you're a college student in 2019,
It
right?
is. Can confirm.
It's definitely been there since the early aughts. Don't ask me how I know. But yeah, you've got he's got the zoomies. There are you can at this point, Cooter, you notice people are trying to walk their dogs, but the dogs are for some reason really like excited or distracted by London's presence. It's like roof,
Makes sense.
roof, 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 roof. And yeah, you're not sure, Cooter, your own dog sense. You don't think that these people actually own these dogs. It's possible that these are rich people's dogs being, people being paid to walk other people's dogs. In fact, one of them has a t-shirt that's like professional dog walker and has their cell number on the back like a walking business card.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
Oh, man.
This is so weird.
Very creepy.
The village is is always a weird place to someone.
I'm just happy that I can see the sky again. The buildings aren't all like.
You
all
can,
the way up.
yep, you can see the sky, and there's a Kmart like right across the street. That's oddly
History
comforting.
museum.
There aren't any museums in this immediate area, but there is a Kmart, and but it's like the Kmart is then right across the street from the Starbucks, which is right across the street from the other Starbucks. It's Manhattan.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
weird.
yeah.
It's this
Yep,
weird
those
thing
two.
where a bunch of streets are letting out into this kind of like round, like not quite a circus because it's not a circle, but around that traffic island with the cube on it. So there's like 8 different corners with weird stuff on them, and one of those corners is the building.
And at least 2 of them are
Yep.
Starbucks.
So is there anything anyone else would like to do to analyze the situation?
I mean, are we getting any weird vibes that this cube has anything to do with anything else?
I mean, you could roll for it.
I may as well.
I'd say overcome an obstacle type roll, or
Okay. I'm gonna do sneaky mystic arts because while everyone here will probably just think I'm high, I still don't want people to be like magic.
that's fair.
Oh, can I sniff anything?
Sure. You can also roll for that.
Okay.
So these are called overcome rolls, which is more like trying to figure something out or notice something, perception checks, as opposed to attack rolls where you're trying to beat something or someone up.
I've got an 11.
Okay, so that is a success. And so you're using Mystic Arts.
I'm doing this in
Yep.
You
I'm
are
just
not.
trying to kind of get a reading on it.
Mystic Arts with a 10, you're not getting a reading on it, really. You're not really getting any sense of anything mystical. Although, if you were to get a 15, you know, you might notice something. Yes,
I'm not
London.
rolling
How do I
any more
roll
demon
for,
dice.
a passive scent wafting my way?
That would be an overcome roll. So just build me an approach plus a discipline.
I guess clever werewolf.
Okay.
That's a D6 and a
Who's a
D10.
clever boy? Who's a clever
Who's a clever boy? Clever boy.
I'm a clever boy. I am a good boy. Okay, so that's a D6 and a D10. Okay, so that is a 4 and a 1.
So you rolled a 5. Unless you want to roll some lovely Demondus friends.
No,
Although you do
don't spell shit.
Yeah. You do get an extra faith dice for your 1. You can save it for later or use it now. Also, I recommend you find a new dice roller because you keep rolling 1s.
I don't know. This was like the good one. I don't know what the.
And you don't like.
Analog.
Okay, well, Google gives me 1s literally like every time. I don't know. Okay. I'm trying to sniff the air for evil, and I'm just not smelling anything.
I don't trust that Kmart. I mean, like, when's the last time you saw Kmart? They're like so mainstream. I thought they went extinct.
I ain't seen a Kmart in a while. Oh!
So
Can we go into Kmart? I've never been to a Kmart. I heard about them a while back, but I didn't think there were any left. Can we go to Kmart?
Maybe after we've figured out what's going on here?
You're English, isn't it? Like K-E Mart with an E at the end or something?
No. I mean, you Americans talk funny too. It's not my
Lajourier.
fault.
Let's save the Kmart for after we complete the mission, perhaps.
Yeah.
Kmart. It's just like the warehouse, only you have to pay money for stuff.
And we
Basically.
got a little bit more limited selection of firearms.
Anywho, all right. So none of you. Do you want to?
While we're in this group of college kids that I'm chatting with, if any of them have heard about these disappearances. Because college kids have always heard something. Someone goes missing and everyone on campus hears about it and you're like, oh my god, I'm only 2 steps removed from that person.
Okay. I guess roll another overcome, unless you want to use this to further build your aspect college gossip.
I think I'd like to further build that aspect.
Okay.
So,
So you have to start over again.
yeah,
Could have just
it's
rolled.
probably going to be the same
Okay.
clever social engineering, yeah. I have an 11.
Okay.
I'm doing startlingly well with basic addition this evening.
Yoo-hoo. So that's one more d6 unless you want to roll some demandas.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so you get that and you let's see. What have I got in my notes? So, yeah, one of these students, yeah, like, not their roommate, but their friend's roommate went missing. And it's, it's weird because it's like they were working on some kind of, they were, like, they were doing okay at school and they weren't really into anything weird. They just sort of seemed to have disappeared. Like they had some internship at the school, like they were just like a normal Cooper Union person.
No warning signs. They're just gone.
No, like it's no, not that they can remember. It's like some people kind of go underground when it's finals time because finals. But it's like the middle of the semester and like, they were working really hard on that there's some internship they're in or doing some kind of work through Cooper Union and they were really excited about. I don't know what it is though. I don't remember what it was. But then they just like disappeared completely. But like they talked to that teacher and she, hasn't seen them either.
Do you know what that teacher's name is?
Um, she might for a 15. I'm a
No, I think we can
biatch.
figure it out another way without demon dice. I've already given you 2.
Seems wise.
I need more though.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. All right. So yeah, you're not really getting. Cooter, are you doing anything to try and analyze the situation or?
That's not really my skill set. I'm
Oh.
figuring these folk are gonna be better at figuring out where we need to go next, and we find what kind of thing it is. I'm great at tracking down monsters, but talking to more people than I see in 6 months, not my thing.
I mean, yeah, the crack team, including the one chasing the stationary object. Yes, London.
Can I talk to the dogs?
Roll. Yeah, roll and overcome. Pick a approach and a discipline.
Probably clever and werewolf again.
I'm gonna sidle over to Victoria and kind of lean
Idiot.
over them and say, "So, I suppose I get in a lot of trouble if I put London down."
I mean, like,
I just asked her. But
13!
I mean, like, she's annoying, but effective, I guess. And like, he's like annoying, but effective, I guess. And like, kind of a good boyfriend and that kind of thing, I guess.
Okay, with a 13, what are you asking the dogs? There's like a Rottweiler, there's a Husky, there's a mutt of some sort.
Okay. Um. Well, I think I'm gonna ask the husky. because the husky looks the most trustworthy, and he looks like he's the best boy of all the boys, and I'm a good boy, so I want to talk about good boys. So I'm gonna ask the best boy of the boys, what were we looking for again?
I don't know, London. What were you looking for?
Missing people.
Missing student? Yes, I'm going to ask the dog. Actually, I'm going to ask the husky and all of his friends because I could use more dog friends. I like dogs because I'm a good boy. I'm a good dog. So I'm going to ask them if they have heard anything about any missing students in the area because they're my friends because they're dogs and I'm
So,
a dog.
okay, so for a 13, because y'all are just drowning right now. So the dogs are like, "What's a student?" And they all kind of cock their. It's like, can we? We don't really like hanging out here because that building smells weird now.
The building smells weird. Can I smell the building?
Do you want to roll to overcome again and
Yes,
make it
I'm
this
gonna
time?
roll the
I'm a little
same.
alarmed by the building smells weird now.
Okay, roll D.
Like, weird how? If I light a clove up in here, are we gonna, like, all die or whatever? Or...
There's someone
I
already
rolled
smoking
an
a clove.
8. I rolled an 8.
I
As-
we live.
I guess I'm going to roll
Demon
some demon
dice!
dice.
Yay!
Because, like, honestly, at this point, we need to do something, or else, like, literally nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so a D10. I have 4 demon dice, right?
At this point, yes, I believe you have 4. That's a d6.
Okay.
So you can add more d6s to this roll. Up to 3. Because those are demon dice.
A 5? What's 5 plus 8?
13.
13, so I need to roll one more.
That's a good number.
Because 13 doesn't get me there.
You could definitely, with a 13, it's like, hey, that building does smell weird, but with a 15, you would be able to maybe place that smell.
Another roll!
This is how she gets you.
Another 5!
Yeah.
A 13 plus a 5!
It's an
An
18!
18! Victoria's very good at maths. I'm not very good at maths, but she is. What?
We'll play her down. We'll play her down.
Do I need to resurrect you
What's
already?
wrong with
We haven't
maths?
even
You're
gotten
good
into a
at
fight
maths.
yet.
I'm bad at maths, but you're good at maths. What's wrong? Why are you laughing at me? What'd I do?
Okay, so, where were we? Okay, so,
18. Thanks to my good friend Victoria, who knows how to maths.
so London, at first it's like, wait, does it smell weird? And you get closer to the building and you're sniffing it and people just still think you're high. The cops are starting to, like, okay, he's a tall white guy, but still, this is getting a little weird.
At least one student has probably said, damn, I want some of what he's having.
People are recording London on their cell phones because they can. But yeah, so you're smelling it. And at first it's like, that is a weird smell. And then you can place it because you're in Alpha 1 and you have seen all the shit and fought all of the enemies and all of the things. So there is a material often used in bad stuff called MacGuffinite. And when it is used to generate energy, it gives this really distinct smell that nothing else does. That as a world, you're like, oh, it's that. So even when you were like an eco-terrorist, you didn't like these guys. There's only one group that the Brotherhood knows of that uses this material for generating power, and that would be a group called MWAHAHA. Mwahaha, they are a union of mad scientists. Or they are a mad science union. and they are generally bad guys. Not all Mads. Hashtag not all.
Organising the labour like that, though.
Yeah, they.
Is the doctor in the union?
As far as I know, he's not, because he's.
He's
tech-
in your chapter, so you'd know him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Alpha One has definitely had to fight mad scientists before, so you know the smell, and that you may have picked up. Shay, you've picked up at least from gossip that Cooper Union used to be a free college, which is weird. They do everything except cover housing and food, or they used to, and then they stopped being free a few years ago. But it's like art, engineering, and architecture. It's a weird school kind of setup, but it was free, so it was very prestigious or hard to get into because everyone wants to go to a free school in the middle of New York City. And then it stopped being free. And now, the the Foundation building smells like MacGuffinite and mad science. So,
Victoria. Okay, so remember them Waha guys?
Yeah, the ones that were putting MacGuffinite and paint in like buildings or whatever.
I smell MacGuffinite. I'm a very good boy. You give me head pats. Okay, so MacGuffinite is in that building, and I am very good because I sniffed it out, and I deserve a treat. I just want everyone to know that.
Not only is it in that building, but they're probably They're probably. It's not exactly burning, you've been told, but they're using it to power something, so it's giving off exhaust or radiation or something.
It's like really going off in there.
So it's not just that it's in the building, it's that someone is actively using it to power something.
Yeah, it's like doing the thing with the woo that it does.
How good's that nose of yours? Can we follow it to the source?
I have a very good nose. I'm a good boy.
It's true. She got kicked off force for being a drug dog because it was too good.
I know. They apparently, if you're they don't like when you turn in their own. But I was trying to be a good boy. There just aren't any good boys in there. But
So
I'm a good boy. I'm a very good boy.
London, you think you can track it to the source?
Can I ever?
Do you want to try
Okay,
that?
so-
People are staring here.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to sniff my way into the building.
Okay.
Fine, it's like a Monday in New York or whatever.
Hold that thought for a moment. It is 8:30. This is usually when we take our bio break. If we could keep it to an actual 10 minutes this time, then we can definitely get to the rest of this adventure.
Okay.
But it's okay. I've run this many times before, and I know how to make things go faster eventually. Anywho, all right. So, chat. We will be back in exactly 10 minutes, or else. And now I get to reload my nice save screen that I'm so happy I made because I remembered I have Photoshop and know how to use it. So we will be back in 10 minutes. Bye-bye. And now we're back with sound! Yay! Yay! Hello, chat. We have returned. And as I was looking over my notes and reorganizing them during break, I realized we are halfway through plot point 1 of a 6-point adventure. Yay! But so long as everyone is having fun, that is what Demon Hunters is all about. And because this is a game that was created by people who did lots of improv in college, it is a very malleable system. So, anywho, so yes, London just discovered or just noticed that hey, that building smells like actively used MacGuffinite. That means there's mad scientists in there. And it's a science
It
school.
smells like mad science.
It smells like mad science. What's the olfactory equivalent of blind? She blinded me with science. No.
Nose blind is an actual.
She nose blinded you with science, or almost did. Okay. So yeah, so that building smells like MacGuffinite, and I'll just say that the main entrance is clearly marked. What do y'all want to do next? Oh wait, people have moved their windows. Okay.
Mhm.
I'm tired and brain fogged. Hello.
Good.
So I
Anywho.
believe we were gonna have London track the smell inside and see where it leads us.
Okay, as your group walks into the main entrance, you see there are not turnstiles, but these weird things where kids will tap an ID card and the gates open, and they're about waist high and clear plastic. There is a bored-looking security guard sitting at a desk next to them. And there is a young woman assembling a tour group of, you assume, prospective students and parents of prospective students. So, how would you like to do this?
Peter puts his arm around Shay and is just like, all right, you're my daughter now. Let's go.
Okay, Dad.
That's good.
Should we,
Let's
like,
do it.
I love school. I need to go to school.
fine, I guess I'll pretend to be a theater major or whatever.
This is a good school, and I like to see it. For I am a prospective student in
Don't
this.
oversell it, London.
The snark is strong with this one.
It's not coming off natural.
No.
Oh,
Just have to act like you don't care.
I care about nothing.
That's a little better.
Okay. I'm a nihilist.
There you go. Now you're getting it.
Yes.
More like a student every day.
Okay, so yeah, the tour guide is like, all right, is everyone all together and ready to start the tour? My
yes,
name
we
is
are.
Marcy. Because
Is Marcy
Chris,
cute?
roll for hotness.
Here we go.
She is a 6. So, I mean, she's a college student. She maybe can't afford the best contouring. Well, I mean, also this is so there's art and engineering at this school.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe she's a bit too focused on her studies to really do much contouring. She's passable. She's fine. She's, 6 out of 10. That's okay.
I'm a lady killer, me.
All right. Welcome to Cooper
Real
Union.
good with the fuzz.
I hope you all enjoy the tour. And she just starts, walking you there. The security guard opens one of the turnstiles, and just everyone in the tour can just walk right in, not having any ID cards on them. Hooray!
Plan.
So we will just get around that obstacle and skip it. And,
Nicely planned, nicely planned.
That was a tranquilizer gun, but this is.
Oh, I was gonna do a spell casting thing to put the security guard to sleep, but
Oh,
it's fine.
okay.
So I'm on the right track. I get used to this team. Maybe for London.
Are we all like 16 or not 16? Are we all like 18 to 20 and with like one old dude?
Well, there is a graduate school here, so
Computers like late 30s.
yeah, like
Yeah.
most of the people are most of the people in this tour group are parents and like 18-year-olds, but there are a couple, like, maybe they're grad students, maybe they're transfers, maybe they're older siblings. So it's, this young
I
lady
relate
kind of
stuff to
this young lady
education.
just kind of wants to get through this and then go back to work on whatever it is she was working on. Yay. Yay, work study. All right, so she's leading you through, and you can pick up whatever interesting factoids about Peter Cooper, who founded Cooper Union, and I believe he ran against Abraham Lincoln in, I think it was the presidential election, rather than any lower level elections. Also, the inventor of commercial Jello. And he was a very interesting, you learn a lot about how he, I mean, are you actually listening, or do I have to make you roll for were you listening? I'll
He
just,
probably
Probably
didn't win
listening.
because he had not as good of a hat.
So, yeah.
I wasn't paying much attention. Then you said Jello. I like Jello.
I like Jello.
I'm interested.
Yep, because Peter Cooper really founded this school to be free for all levels of society. And so similarly, he created Jello so that children could have, even poor children could afford a steady source of some kind of protein that was also fun to eat.
Wait, really?
Dude, he didn't
I
invent
wouldn't
Jello.
exactly say that Jello is protein, but okay.
Well, it's gelatin.
I
He,
know,
But okay.
but I wouldn't go to
With
it
the
as
jingle,
a
but
source
okay.
of protein.
well, this was the 1800s,
Yeah.
Aspic.
He didn't invent gelatin. Like, people have been cooking with gelatin and aspic and things like that for a long. Arcane the Sage will probably start talking about it a lot in chat now. But Jello as a product was developed by Peter Cooper or one of his companies or something. Other things that he's done, the foundation building is technically one of New York's first skyscrapers, even though it's only like 7 stories tall, because it utilizes a lot of new techniques of smelting metals and steel and iron into the kind of support structure that could eventually hold up a skyscraper. So this was kind of like the first step towards things like the Empire State Building, although itself is only like 7 stories tall. She also walks you past like an elevator. Yes, sir? Do you have a question?
So, did they use Jello in the steel?
No. Those were two separate projects of his. He did use his new steel in the elevator shaft. That is the first elevator shaft that was ever constructed in New York City, about 30 years before the elevator was invented.
So, do elevators use Jello?
I don't think so, no.
What's your fixation on Jello? God.
I was hungry.
Why would an
You-
elevator
God made
use
Jell-O.
Jello?
If you're listening, there's a lot of talk about Jello going on here. That's what I'm saying.
So Peter Cooper was... Oh,
Okay.
here we go, Arcane the
God,
Sage.
Arcane! What
Yeah.
is this?
Arcane's going.
Go off, man. Go off.
I know my friends. Like, we have started talking about a food product. We're about to get schooled. Anywho,
So much.
so yes, Peter Cooper was in many ways a visionary, both technologically and socially, and Cooper Union was founded so that people of all classes could potentially get an education in art, engineering, and science, regardless of class by birth, regardless of income. Unfortunately, Cooper Union is no longer free. The school administration has been, as many of you know now, it does cost money to go here, and that has been causing a lot of problems with our programs. But we are doing our best to keep things together, and maybe through grants we can get back to our old way of doing things, and the tour continues. Um, Also, what y'all notice is that there are a lot of, like, they don't seem to have, maybe because they're no longer a free school or something, or money is weird, you don't really see any janitor staff, but what you do see is a whole lot of Roombas. Like, just in the hallways, and just Roombaing, and yeah.
That seems a little weird. Can I do like a, I don't know, magic something on the Roombas to see if they're like, are they mad science Roombas? Because I'm suspicious now.
So you also have a cipher on your cell phone?
Ah, I do,
Just to
don't I?
remind you. Actually, I will add that as an additional chapter aspect. Pocket Roomba. No, pocket cipher.
In that case, I'm going to pull out my phone and be like, texting on my phone like college students do, and be like, cipher, scan the Roombas. Here,
Okay.
look, check them out.
Okay, and London, what do you want to do at the same time?
Marcy, if I go to school here, do I get a Roomba?
No, those are we only use those in the main building, and they're just for maintenance. But
That's like
we
a lot of them.
we do
Do
have
you have
students.
a lot of messes you have to clean up?
It's a school, so yes, there's spills, there's daily vacuuming that needs to happen. New York City is very dusty, especially these older buildings. Okay, so Shay, build me a dice pool.
Okay.
We do have students that maintain the Roombas, though, so that's a fun. There's a fun kind of tech club now of students who work on these and keep them running.
Wait, how would I get involved in that?
I believe they put up a flyer at the beginning of every semester. It's sort of like AV club, but for maintenance. It's interesting. I'm more of an art student, so I don't know all that much about it. But there are a lot of because this is science and engineering and architecture. There are a lot of school groups involved in those kinds of activities, both curricular and extracurricular. Shay would GM voice. Shay, build me a dice pool.
Okay. So I'm using the cipher to do this analysis.
Okay.
What does this change, I suppose? Because this is skills that I don't personally have.
Okay, so I will say that since the aspect is pocket cipher, I will say you have to use your own dice, but you can add an extra, faith die using the pocket cipher.
Okay.
And I'd say you get a +2 to your roll.
Okay.
So let's say it's also a stunt, pocket cipher, that you all have. It's like, I want to
Okay.
cipher a thing, but I'm not a cipher. Cell phone, do the thing. You now get a +2
like
to your roll.
Now, if I do something that relates to that, I can help, right?
Sure. Usually the way helping works is the person helping will build an advantage, and then the person doing the roll will then use that advantage in their, whether it's an attack roll or an overcome roll.
Well, so I'm gonna build an advantage
Okay.
for Shay to do this.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and slip away a little bit and flip over one of the Roombas, pull out a screwdriver, and just open it up and take a look at the insides of it.
Okay, that
Peter,
so I hate to break this to you, but that will actually be an attack roll.
Oh no.
an attack roll. All right.
Yeah.
Cooter's has the aspect. If
Oh,
it's got
fuck,
a motor,
it's-
I recognize.
Damn it.
That's a no-
Damn it, it's Zoom.
No moon.
That's no moon.
I
Anyway,
think there's a setting on Zoom to flip your camera. I did that.
I'll
This
figure it
is
out
my right
someday.
hand.
I could read that. That was
It's
the right
fine.
way.
Yeah. It looked the right way
Does it
to me,
It
but it
always
doesn't
looks
appear that way on
backwards
Twitch.
your yeah.
backwards
Oh,
on Twitch or forwards on Twitch?
It was backwards on Twitch because Chris has her
Right.
'Cause Chris is a
camera
Luddite.
turned on to mirror.
Anyway, so
OBS does have a mirror.
So,
thing.
so Cooter, so please make, I know you don't, Cooter does not realize at first this is an attack roll, but it is one, so what are you rolling that will unexpectedly
he's gonna
become
do
an
it
attack roll?
quickly.
Okay,
I think
quickly.
he's trying to do, if and it's got a motor, I reckon I can fix it, but it was quick, and I guess it's going to be combat as opposed to research and development.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Once you realize it's fighting back, you can, yeah, well, I'll allow that. This is,
Is it a
whoops.
monster?
It is not a monster, but it does have a motor.
It doesn't have a motor. So I can use my, I reckon I can fix it with my motor? Is that-
Sure, I will allow this roll. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. A 9, an 8, and a 1 on the faith die. So that's an 18.
Okay, so if you roll a 1 on a faith dice, you get to keep it.
Cool.
So fun for that. So an 18, that is a succeed with style. I will say you have accidentally created an aspect. That's no Roomba. With, we'll say one dice on it, because it was an accidental. So you, I can't hear you now. Oh no!
Oh,
Me?
what?
Oh, there. Sorry. Okay, I can hear everyone now. It's like,
Sorry,
anyway,
my internet connection at home isn't as good.
it's West Coast's having some technical difficulties all over, so it's cool. All right, so what happens is you go to flip it over, and it takes a minute for your brain to realize that it doesn't have, like most Roombas have wheels. This is actually hovering a centimeter off the ground. Which you notice as you turn it over and it starts fighting you back. Oh, so it gets to roll. So where is your character sheet, Roomba? There we go. Flying battle drone. A D8 for zooming. And a D10 for zapping. Only a D4 for cleaning. Like, once you see it's like, this Roomba was not doing a very good job. Wait, it's hovering. Oh, shit! And, yeah. And I will not add a demon dice, because it's just one Roomba. It only rolled a 7. So it tries to actually zap you with some kind of laser. As you pick it up, it's like, zzz. However, you did roll an 18, so you do manage to open it up. Is that what Cooter was trying to do? So it's like, huh, this
Yeah,
is where,
pretty much
ow,
open it up so
ow,
we can
crunch.
see how it works, or the cipher to be able to scan it better.
You succeeded that. So now there is a D6 on That's No Roomba. Because it's like, oh, this is some sort of small, Cooter knows what a drone looks like, so this is actually some kind of cleverly disguised drone. So Shay, do you now want to scan it with the cipher?
Yeah, and I can invoke that aspect of That's No Roomba, correct?
Yes.
And get an
Yes, you
addition
can.
to the roll.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use clever research and development.
Okay.
See if I can make heads and tails of whatever the cipher's gonna spit back out at me here.
Mhm.
I have +1 d6 for the cipher, +1 d6 for the aspect, and then a +2 on top of whatever I roll also for the cipher. Yeah. Ooh, and I rolled relatively well. It's a 15.
Ooh, that's a succeed with style. So,
Woohoo!
I will allow that D6 to stay on that That's No Roomba aspect. So effectively gave you another one. Because the cipher, basically on your cell phone, you see that it just sort of, scan, and now it's just sort of showing you blueprints. Cooter, you also understand pretty well what it's getting at if you look at it too. Yeah, these are definitely, like, there's a vacuum attachment, but it definitely looks like this is some kind of small battle drone. You also, it is mildly sentient.
Mildly?
Mildly.
That's a little alarming.
And you do notice that it is sending and receiving some kind of radio or wireless signal, I should say. Possibly with other drones or a central computer. So it looks like these might, and as the pocket cipher gets to the, these may be adapted to fighting in groups. The rest of it, at this point, the rest of the tour group has kind of wandered off without you. So you are in this corridor, and y'all suddenly notice, or at least Shay and Cooter notice, more Roombas have kind of entered this hallway corridor and started lifting off of the ground slowly. Oh, I'm sorry, I had...
Oh no.
So it is just very like... I do have a Roomba, an off-brand Roomba, but it's like this big. These are more like this, the size of a dice tray.
Dice trays are appropriate as drones.
And they are all...
And I guess we can't, like, run upstairs.
Within easy reach.
Well, I mean, you can run, but these
I actually
things...
bought
yeah.
one of these dice trays because I saw them using them as drones on Masters of the Metaverse.
Yes,
So I was
and...
like, oh, cool. And then they were like 50% off when I went to look. I'm like, dice tray for $10?
Yeah, fuck me up. Let's go.
Yeah?
So, we can go into combat now. So the way
boy.
so we don't really roll initiative in Demon Hunters because it's fate-based. We start with, I guess, the most likely person to start, or Cooter and Shay are more aware that they are now surrounded by hovering attack drones.
Angry Roombas.
Angry Roombas!
Of a tour.
She kind of took you down this side corridor to show you the ancient elevator that was invented or the elevator shaft that predated elevators, and kind of kept going. So you're in this kind of like narrow corridor. There's like linoleum flooring and fluorescent lighting. It's kind of,
So are they attacking us in front of all the tour?
The tour has departed. The Roombas have not yet attacked.
Wait, we didn't leave with the tour? Oh.
Well, Cooter hung back to try and open one of these Roombas up, at which point it attacked him.
Shay hung back to scan.
And Shay went back to scan it. I'm assuming, unless you two... Yeah. Did you two leave your party to go with the tour?
I probably would have given them a heads up when I saw what was going on, because...
Okay.
Don't split the party.
Yeah.
I'd strongly recommend not splitting the party.
Okay. I guess we attack.
Well, like,
Okay.
Generally, in Demon Hunters, if you split the party, you split the party members. Like in half, in pieces.
Yay!
Torn apart by angry Roombas.
they got fucking...
Gee, it's been a while. Where are our friendos?
Don't want that to be Shay's epitaph.
Shay, we'll say, Shay, since you succeeded with style, we'll say that as you notice all of the Roombas now circling, you kind of like instinctively are still looking at it through your cell phone. And the pocket cipher remarks, this is a very vintage style. Like, they almost look like classic little flying saucers this way. Even less like Roombas, now that they're all hovering 5 to 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah, thanks, Cypher. You want to give me anything useful?
So there are about 10 drones around you. They have not yet attacked. Does someone...
Cooter figured we're in trouble.
Yeah.
He's gonna drop the backpack, open it up, and it reveals just a bunch of tools, but also a massive arsenal of shotguns, a couple machine guns, lots of pistols, and he's gonna grab 2 shotguns, one in each hand, and say, "Grab what you need." There's a few tasers in there as well, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so that's the aspect portable arsenal, on which there is 1 additional d6 if anyone wants to use it.
Wait, do we all have to roll now?
No. So since Cooter drew first, so Cooter, are you going to attack or are you going to let the drones go first?
What do I have an idea, having taken one apart, how they're going to attack? Like what they're gonna do?
Well, I would say because there's still a d6 on That's No Roomba, you have a good idea of where to shoot them. Of shotgun versus
They're
hover
gonna
drone, it's like you know what to hit. You're pretty sure.
Okay, I'm just
So-
wondering what kind of method they're gonna attack us with.
Well, you're generally think that since they have lasers, they're probably just all gonna laser you from a hovering position, and then they're gonna be very dodgy and hovery and speedy.
Yeah,
So,
that doesn't sound very good. So we're gonna take him out as fast as we can.
but if you want to use that extra d6 on That's No Roomba, that'll definitely give you an edge.
So let's see. Cooter's pretty good at being flashy. He's got a couple shotguns here. So what he's gonna do is kind of charge into the middle of where they're starting to gather around.
Well, they're all around you. they have
Okay, they're
they have
already
circled you.
into the west. Okay.
But yeah.
So we're gonna try and basically kind of carefully take aim, but
Go,
then
Toto.
take the first barrel with each shotgun, and then on the first 2, and then take out 2 more, and then go into a forward roll to try and get under into the other side of the rest of them. That makes
Okay.
sense.
Okay, sounds good.
So I think that's pretty flashy. So we're gonna go with flashy combat and tactics, and then portable arsenal, and That's No Roomba. And so that gives me a lot of dice. Ooh. So I got a 1 on one of my either my discipline or my approach,
Okay, you can take an extra faith dice for that.
but I still get a 17.
Ooh. Because it is 9:15, I will allow that to continue. So that d6 is still on That's No Roomba, because you just keep. I mean, these are meant to be the nachos of the adventure, and I didn't use any demon dice on their defense roll, so they only rolled a 12. So yeah, you got. So you said you rolled an 18?
17.
17. Okay, so they have how many miles? Okay, so that is a mild condition. This is, they are attacking you as a mob. So they basically, the group of them has a number of conditions on them. And so, so 1 mild condition out of that number, yeah, you easily take 2 out. A couple more are a bit twitchy, but they're still up. So, and then from there we popcorn it to either one of your other party members, or just so you know, if the bad guys go last in the round, the bad guys go twice. So just so you know, the Roombas are the bad guys. Or the opponents, so.
I mean, London's kind of a bad guy too, but I'm gonna try not.
Bad dog. No, I'm a good
not
boy.
the bad dog. I'm a good boy
He's
now.
trying real hard. Okay.
All right, so Cooter, who goes next?
I think Shay goes next because Shay was, knew what was going on and was in the room
Okay,
when he started to attack.
so there is still an additional d6 on That's No Roomba,
Okay.
if you would like to use that.
And the portable arsenal, we use that d6, or is that still available?
Did you use that in your roll? I forget.
I did, yeah.
Okay, so that-
backpack full of stuff.
So we'll say that one's gone. But you can still use portable arsenal if you want to throw your own faith dice at it. blah. Shay still has Adventuring Witch Kit, which has a plus 1d6 on it.
Okay. I want to create an advantage for somebody else to attack. Because my strongest skill is magic, and I'm not entirely sure that that's the best approach when we have people with guns. So I want to, take my sword here and use the sword and the scabbard to try starting to whack all of the Roombas like into a line, so that they're easier to hit.
Roomba line! Okay.
Just, dual wielding in the least practical way possible, but my whole thing is winging it, so.
Jump in the line. Body on time. Okay, I
Keep the
believe you.
Roombas into line.
Yeah, just.
Okay, roll to build that advantage.
So, yeah. Suppose that's probably combat and tactics, although I am bad at that. But I have a stunt of sure I'll help, and because I'll lend a hand when it benefits me, I get a +2 when I cleverly create an advantage and care about the outcome. Since I am doing a clever combat and tactics, I will get a +2 on this.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide if there's anything else I can.
You can add some Demondis before you roll.
Well, if you've got faith dice still, we've got faith
Yeah,
dice.
you
I
should.
do have faith dice, and I think I want to invoke my aspect of so that's how it works, and I know how these Roombas work now because I looked at what the cipher pulled up, and I'm going to use this newfound knowledge of so that's how it works to better get them into line.
Yeah, the pocket cipher has shown you. This is how they levitate. This is how they hover. So if you jam that way or that, yeah.
And may I also invoke the pocket cipher for being useful in this?
I will allow that if you're using a faith dice for it of your own for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, I rolled a 10 on
Well,
the
that's-
D10.
That's. Oh,
So
okay.
I'm at 18.
Okay, so that's 2 extra d6s on. I guess we'll call it Roomba line.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody go ham, I guess, on
Oh yeah. So
attacking these things. Use those.
So
It'll be great.
who goes next, Shay?
Let's let London go next.
London, you are surrounded by self-hovering frisbees, and one of them just lasered Cooter.
And they are in perfect alignment.
And then Shay went bombf with their sword and scabbard and kind of bunched a bunch of them all together.
I pull out my umbrella.
Yeah.
That work.
Okay. Now
Leap into the air and get it in your teeth.
frisbees.
And I swing it
Sword goes down.
at them.
Sword
What do
down.
I roll? Okay, I am rolling. Where
Um,
is my character sheet? Oh, where is my character sheet? Fuck. Okay, one sec. Oh, goddamn. I always, if I open a new thing on Discord, then it gets rid of the thingy that I just opened, and then it goes away, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. Okay, here we are. I am going to roll. I feel like this is a flashy move.
It's quite flashy.
It's flashy, and I am going to roll combat and tactics. A D10 and a D6. Because there's the D6. Go roll that.
The D6.
A 5! Okay.
Total?
Okay. And
Oh.
2.
So that's a 7, so no. I will say the pack of Roombas rolled a 16 on 2 dice. So, would you like to roll some Demondis?
Is that an aspect?
No, you
What
could
an
just.
aspect.
You didn't invoke any aspects before you rolled.
Uh,
So you have to do that before you roll. Now, you can roll Demondis up to 3 d6s. You can just roll them one at a time. But yes,
It's
the
like-
Roombas. The
It's
room.
like karmic balance. Like, since this is
Yeah,
where
I
you're-
know, because it comes at me later. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I've played the game. Okay, I will roll one of those.
Yay!
It's a 5!
Okay,
What's
so
an 8 plus a 5? That's a math.
13.
13.
Okay, so you still miss because the Roombas rolled a 16.
Shit. Do I need to roll another one?
So you need to roll another one. You don't
I think it's
have
worth
to,
Don't have to-
but
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
Another 5!
so that's an 18. Okay, so you
Yes,
get
that's-
a mild condition on these guys as you brandish your umbrella and just go "Ah!"
Yes.
and just smack a bunch of them together, and 2 more of them kind of get crunched into each other and fall down.
Eh!
Yay! Next, so the last 2 people in this, or the last 2 entities in this are the Roombas or Victoria, and if the Roombas go last, the Roombas go
I want to let
twice.
the Roombas go, because I don't
Okay.
want them to go twice.
Okay.
Yes. Since there's still 6 of them functioning, I think 2
Yeah.
dented and 4 in good condition.
And alright, so I'm gonna say since London just hit them with actually I'm gonna say since Cooter kind of ravaged one of their buddies, they kind of see him as a bigger threat than the dude with the umbrella. So sorry, puppy. So roll a Cooter, roll a defense because they are all going to aim their lasers at you.
And is that just an approach and a discipline for defense?
Yes. They rolled a 17.
Let's see.
My bad guy dice are rolling quite well.
Oh dear.
Eh, we're doing
Do
awesome.
we still have an aspect of that no Roomba?
We did it.
Yes. You still have you still have a dice on that. You still have a die on that.
Oh, yes.
A dice.
Alright. 16.
Okay, so you would take 1 mild condition, unless you want to roll some a demon dice to maybe get it to 17 or higher.
I only need to go to 1.
You
I
only
guess I'll
need
give
one.
you a demon die. I'll try to avoid that, but
In my games, ties go to the defender because White Wolf 4. So
so adding a 4 to that, so that makes
Okay.
it 20.
all right, so they all try to laze you from being all smushed together, and you're like, nope. And yeah, you can see that you know where their lasers are, and you're just, please, Roomba, please. So so next, Victoria, what are you gonna do?
Alright, so I guess I gotta like clean up these Roombas or whatever to pun too.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna throw my knives at the Roomba. So I guess that would be attack.
yep.
You
Combat
have
and
to
tactics.
choose you have to choose 2 things to attack with.
Yeah. So let's go with flashy combat and tactics.
Okay.
So D12 is a 12.
Wait,
Yay!
And the D8
you don't have a D12.
Combat and Tactics is a,
Oh,
says
it is a
D12.
D12. I'm sorry.
And an
hey,
8.
My
and
bad.
an 8 on the
Okay,
flash
so
sheet.
that's 20. I can math.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's a physics be damned. So, and the Roomba rolled a 4, so that's 16 hits.
Oh,
So,
nice dice you got. You want to use all your demon dice to keep those Roombas alive?
nope. I'm
More
saving
dice.
those. So that's 3 more mild conditions, and so Victoria, describe it to me, how your knives destroy the last 6 Roombas.
So they go like sailing elegantly through the air and like pierce their hard exterior shells like butter through like warm knife or whatever.
You only throw 2 knives, but they just go through several Roombas in a row because Shay lined them up so nicely.
Victoria's got superhuman strength, being basically Frankenstein monster.
Yes.
I would love to cut a knife with butter.
Very few Demon Hunters
Oh, sorry, it's
characters. So at GM note, very few Demon Hunters characters have D12s on their sheets. That's why I put D12s on everyone's sheets in Metaverse, because it's a Metaverse. So I am a little surprised. Whoops. So yeah, these dead Roombas. There are pieces of battle Roomba all over, and you have a moment of peace. So is there anything the party... Now we are out of combat after 1 round, which works for me. What would the party like to do? Since the tour group hasn't come back for you.
I'm gonna sniff the problem.
Okay.
Sniff a trail. For
I wanna see
MacGuffin night.
If
MacGuffin?
Pocket Cipher can, I don't know, figure out who made these things or where they came from or something along those lines.
It pretty much gave you everything it could on that previous roll, so it didn't recognize a maker because there are many mad scientists in its database, and this style does not match up with one that they know of.
Plus,
Um,
I'm also going to use my aspect.
But there are new mad scientists cropping up all the time.
Of course.
So, and it got a pretty good idea of its construction before.
How do I use an aspect?
An aspect will allow you to add a faith dice to your roll.
Okay, studied in sabotage under terrorist terror leaders.
Okay.
I'm gonna sniff out that.
Okay, you can use an extra d6 for that, and that brings you down another faith dice. So you're down to 2 faith dice.
16!
Nice. Alright, that's a succeed with style. So are you sniffing in general or specifically for the MacGuffinite?
MacGuffinite!
Okay, the
Go straight for
MacGuffinite,
it.
you definitely get a sense of that, and some other stuff. Where are we? Okay. You were attacked by Roombas. There we go. Done. Okay, so you start you start leading your new pack through the hallways into an area that looks like it's in only emergency power, because it looks like this part of the building is under construction.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no civilians, or there shouldn't be any civilians around, but it also looks like there aren't any construction workers here right now. But, things are covered with tarps, the main lights are off, and only the emergency lights are on. You pick up some other things with your Succeed with Style. You start noticing that some of the Alex, are you paying attention?
Yes, some of the
Yes.
wall.
Some of the walls are made of solid steel under the paint and drywall, but not like
Have
in
there
a
a door?
continuous way. Like
Okay.
one wall will be, and then you'll turn a corner, and then the adjoining wall will not be solid steel. So it's not like, mad scientists like, containment rooms made of steel and other weird metals, but that's not what this is. It's like one wall is steel and the next one is not. And the next one is steel, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense, and not even to me. Like, that's dumb. What? But you're
Did
still
they
following.
use any Jello?
No, you do not. London does not smell any Jello as you are heading. Well, Cooper Union does not have its own dining halls, so you do not smell any Jello. Sad face. You do notice that in a lot of these areas with the steel walls, you look up and the wiring it looks like new wiring because it's under construction, but it's like they run the wires in the top corner of the wall, between the wall and the ceiling. Which isn't uncommon in New York City buildings, but it's just like, so whenever there's a steel wall, it does that, and it looks like new wiring, and it smells new. But, construction. That makes sense, you guess? But the steel part doesn't. Because who adds individual steel walls into a school building? And you don't even really, you're starting to smell a laboratory, but it's like further down that way with the MacGuffinite. So you come to a door. Let's see. Where are we going? There are also security cameras, but you can smell that they are not powered up which is weird, because usually those are powered up by emergency power, but these cameras are not on. You can smell that they are not using electricity or MacGuffinite.
Yes, that's a thing I can smell.
I'm just going to railroad you through this hallway, because there's more to do, and we've got a half hour or less. Okay.
That's fair.
Fair.
Okay, so you come to just like a wooden door, and it just says computer lab on it, and you're very sure the MacGuffinite is on the other side of this door. There does seem to be actual light coming out from under it, and you can smell that there are people in there.
You have an idea of how many people?
You smell BO and coffee.
Can I differentiate between different BOs?
I will say you need another roll for that.
Okay.
I gave you a lot for a succeed with style, because I'm like, just get there.
Okay, I can succeed with I don't know what of these I can use. Okay. Come on, D6 and D10, don't fail me now!
Whew.
Okay, 4. God damn it, I can't succeed. Okay.
Demon dice
Nice.
are your friends.
Oh wait, a 10.
Okay,
So
you got a 10.
14.
There you go.
Okay, you can't get it 100% exactly, but you're pretty sure there might be around 10 or 11 people in this room.
Mm-hmm.
Like somewhere, 9, 10, 11, you're somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So. Okay, so there's 10 or 11 people. I'm going to relay that information to my comrades. I am going to go into the room.
Okay.
I'm just going to open the door.
Okay, the door is
There are a
not.
lot of people in there.
I open the door. Yeah, roll a no. Yeah, it's not locked. The door just opens. And what you see inside are... So this looks like a regular computer lab, plus some old maps or blueprints or something on the far wall, and like a human-sized vacuum tube in the far right corner of the room. But directly in front of you are 2 like computer banks with 5 people sitting at each of them, and each one of them has a gizmo of some sort fused to the back of their neck. and they
Do
are just
show
typing.
any recognition that we enter this room?
They do not, but you do see another figure in the back has just run away from another computer in the back and jumped into a vacuum tube and gone up. Like Batman. Well, like
Oh, are
60s
they
Batman.
reimagining the elevator?
So someone else, a woman in a white lab coat, jumped into this vacuum tube and went, "Phoop," and
I wanna
these kids
check
are all
the
just typing away.
pocket cipher. Are these our missing kids?
They definitely look the right age to be undergrads. Pocket cipher, okay, that still takes a roll because it has to search its database.
Okay. We're gonna do
The things on the back of their necks, are they
quick
like
R&D.
screwed into their necks? Like, how are they attached to them?
That will also take an R&D roll for you to analyze them. But if you get closer, they don't really seem to respond to you. Okay, Shay, what did
Got a
you?
7.
A 7. You need at least a 10.
I'll roll a demon die.
Does that include the plus? Well, the +2 for pocket cipher. Does that
I
include
forgot
that?
the +2.
So you're
I'm
only at a
I'm
9.
a 9.
But
I will roll a demon die and get to the 10.
Yay!
I rolled a 1 on it. God damn it.
Yay!
You get a faith die if you roll a 1 on a demon die?
Nope. But you did make a 10, so...
I did make the 10, which is why I was willing to risk the demon die.
So yeah, the cipher scrolls through its database, and it's like, oh yeah, these are the missing undergrads. Shay,
Right.
now that you're in it's like the coffee is awful, but strong. It might be that these kids have only been surviving on coffee for the last few days.
I'm gonna like look at them real close and be like, yeah, that's the look of someone who's only been consuming caffeine for the last week.
They're
How's
all
it than a normal college student?
I mean, yeah, but a lot of college students actually make an effort to, consume food. I would know what somebody looks like when they've only consumed caffeine, because I did in fact die from that once. It was a time.
It was a
So,
whole thing.
I got an 11 on the roll to examine how they're attached to
Okay. What did I? Okay. So these definitely look like so as you're looking at it, it looks like there are two kind of needle-like protrusions that are going into the tops, either their lower skull or their upper spine. And, from what you know of mad scientists, this might be mind control of some sort.
Does it look like I can pull them off?
For a 15, you could figure out how to pull them off.
Okay, that's an R&D.
Well, I would allow you to. You can start by making a whole new roll, or you could roll some demon dice on this one. This is the game.
Is there any mechanical aspect to this? It's like mechanically attached to their spine, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. There is mechanics. And yeah, It's a combination of. Okay.
Because I'm a redneck mechanical genius, once per session I can create a free invocation on any mechanical aspects that happen to be present. If there are no mechanical aspects, I create one with 3 free invokes on it. So, I want to try to forcefully remove them with my mechanical genius aspect.
Okay, so what are you gonna call this aspect?
Broken needles?
Okay. All right, so you can make a roll to start taking them off, at least some of these kids.
And that is 6, 7, and 5 gives me a 18.
Okay. That's succeed with style. So I will say, and you used one of the aspects. Okay. For the sake of time, I will say that yeah, the first one is kind of like, okay, this is weird because it is part computery data chip stuff, but also mechanical. Like it is physical pins in their neck.
Right.
So you do eventually just sort of get it to short out enough that you can pull it out without it frying their brain.
Good.
And once you got the first couple, you're pretty sure you can get the rest of them. And these kids, at first the first one you weren't sure you did it right because you pulled it out, you disconnected it, pulled it out, and then they just like thunk on the desk, on the keyboard, just out. But you can check and you know they're still breathing, and it's like, okay, so it's just they've been going for 3 days straight. Yeah, you'd collapse after that if you're an 18-year-old science major, probably. So yeah, pretty much most of them, a couple of them are a little bit conscious, but most of them, as you disconnect them, just pass out. But they're still alive. They're just, dehydrated and malnourished and underslept. And it's not finals week, so they haven't really worked up to that level of stamina yet. So they were not prepared for this. But yeah, so there are a couple that are a little bit awake. There are also, like I said, there are on the back wall. There's this weird, like, big, like, antique blueprint thing. That one of the pictures looks like the Cooper Union or the Foundation building itself, but the others are not. It's kind of weird. But they're, the kids are stirring if you want to talk to any of them, or, you know.
I mean, I mostly think we should probably get them to head out of here. So if we go in pursuit of the lady in the lab coat that went up the tube, we're, don't have to worry about these guys.
Yep. There's also there's also the computer that lady scientist that lady in the lab coat was working on, that she did not bother to log out of before running into the vacuum tube. Like you do.
I'm gonna tell the kids to get themselves some food. Oh my god. If you drink any more coffee, you are going to fucking die.
You can't die from coffee, but okay, I'm hungry, and
totally can.
Yeah, they're
friends have to take them with you.
Some of them are stirring, and the others are like kind of getting them up, like wow. And they look around. They're like, "Where's?"
I take another swig of coffee.
Where's Dr. Finley? Okay, and
you
then
want to tell me who Dr. Finley is?
She's running the this like. I guess it's between like an independent study and an internship. I mean, it's for credits, so we've mostly been like just rewiring the building and like kind of cleaning up the old wiring. She's really into like vintage tech and like updating it and retrofitting stuff, so it was really interesting. She said she was hooking everything up, all of the Cooper Union building up to like a green energy thing, as part of a project to like get more funding, because like everyone's funding got cut when Cooper Union lost all of its grant stuff and couldn't be free anymore. So
I hold up one of the neck things. So like, mind control part of what you guys were working on, because that's what was happening here.
No. They all look really confused. Like, what?
How much do you remember of the last 3 days or so?
I don't really. Just, I don't know. We were finishing up the power up program for something. And at that point, you all hear kind of a crunching, screeching noise as the walls on the right and left sides of this room start to slowly move towards each other.
Oh, bloody hell.
That doesn't seem right.
And you get the vague sense of that the floor is like rising.
Should probably like look at the door.
We gotta get the kids out.
Can we shove
Yeah.
the kids out the door? Look in the hallway. Is the hallway also compressing or changing?
Yes. Especially, yeah. A lot of things in that hallway are moving that are not supposed to be moving.
Oh, so that's what all of the metal panels were for.
Would anyone else like to make any overcome obstacle rolls to maybe analyze anything else in this room before moving on? Like any of the things I mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, I'd quickly like to see if I can figure out what the end state of all this movement is leading towards.
Okay, you notice those blueprints on the wall, so give me give me an R&D roll with an appropriate approach.
Probably quickly.
Yes.
Oh, that's a 1. So I get a faith die, but that adds up to an 8.
That is not. You need at least a 10, so you can roll that faith die now, or you can roll a demon dice.
Oh yeah, I can roll that faith die now. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That makes it a 12.
Awesome. So you're looking at this old blueprint, and it is and once you've looked at it more closely, it's like, oh, it's not that this is a blueprint of the Foundation building and a giant robot. It's that the Foundation building slowly transforms into a giant robot. And you see that these blueprints were signed by Peter Cooper in the 1800s.
What?
What the fuck? Alright.
I love this.
The robot also has a top hat and a
course.
monocle. The robot, like under the building it says Foundation Building. Under the robot it says Percy.
First.
All right. So based on what we just looked at, we're probably not going to have like the hallway crush anybody who's in it or anything like that.
Actually, it looks like you should evacuate the building.
Yeah.
Like just evacuate to be on the safe side. Evacuate the building.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here.
At least of the civilians.
Yeah, we gotta get the civilians out, but we also gotta get after them to stop this from.
Well, it looks like you do see, so not drawing directly on the blueprints, but like on a piece of vellum, it looks like someone else has added some of their own extra stuff, including the vacuum tube that's right next to you. See, so it clearly shows that vacuum tube goes straight to the roof / the top of Percy's head.
That's what I figured.
So.
So I guess
go.
we'll have to take.
I'm going to pick up one person in each, like 2 of the students, like 1 in each arm.
Now that the room is moving, they've all started, like, the kids are all pretty much, those that are not awake
Roused
are
enough.
being dragged by the other kids who are like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, but we're leaving. However, there
Alright.
is, and someone at this point has pulled a fire alarm somewhere in the building, and
Cool.
probably people
Okay.
are leaving. Hopefully.
Okay, so the kids are getting out?
Yeah, it sounds like the building is already being evacuated since no one in this party thought to pull the fire alarm. So an NPC did. Yay. Next. You have 10 minutes, and you have a giant robot to dismantle. What do you do next?
Scooter jumps in the one.
Go to the vacuum
Get-
tube.
Vacuum
and go-
tube!
Yeah, I want to take a picture of the blueprints first so that the pocket cipher has access to that.
Oh, yeah.
But, make sure all the kids get out and get in that vacuum tube and get out myself.
Okay. So, let's see, where are we in the obstacle state? Oh, yes, blueprints from 1850. Okay, what do you need to do? Alright, so do you all just take the vacuum tube up?
Yeah.
Because it works.
It's
Yay!
the obvious way out.
Yep. You all make it to the roof. And there is a woman in a lab coat. She is being attacked by garbage flies. Go away. I'll take out the trash after game. Leave me alone. And once you're on, you can see over, that people are starting to gather and like, what's going on with the foundation building? But also people are leaving it and getting a safe distance away, or so they think.
This is gonna be a whole ass mess to clean up after we're done.
But yeah, so this building clearly transforms from a 7-story building to a whopping 14-story robot. Woohoo! Plaster and drywall are cracking and collapsing. Girders contracting and
Back in my day, we used to make transforming robots out of RVs, not out of whole buildings.
Duh. Steampunk. What the hell? Okay, there's also a whole bunch of Roombas up here with, you assume, their master. So, alright, we're gonna just go straight into combat rounds. Because you see the lady in the lab coat, has her own kind of larger techie thing on her neck. Seems to control the whole thing. But she's standing next to what looks like a very steampunky, like, levers and wheels, and there's even, like, this thing with all these flipping paper cards in it. And it looks like, based on what you saw of the blueprints, that's the computer circa 1850.
Oh my god.
Be like Professor O'Cayley or whatever.
Yeah, but between that and what Cooter saw of the mind control devices, it seems like she's mentally controlling this computer, which is a thing she's into, and also antique tech. So yeah, all of the things she likes. Anywho, so we'll just say we are in combat rounds. Who wants to do the first thing? You have 8 minutes.
I have a terrible idea.
Good. Go with it. It's Demon Hunters.
We are outside, yes?
Yes.
Yes, you are on the roof.
And the NPC's getting attacked by flies. I'm just thinking, like, use magic and give her tech literal computer bugs.
Yes.
Okay.
About it.
Convince the swarm to attack directly her thing, and
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
do you know how much sheer terror I had when an ant crawled into my laptop keyboard?
That's a mood though.
Okay. Given the time frame, I will allow it, but you need to get a physics be damned for it to...
Okay.
If you can get a 20, everything shuts down.
Okay. I'm invoking my witchcraft kit.
Okay.
And I'm doing clever mystic arts. And I'm trying to figure out if I can justify the college gossip at all.
Well, you were talking to the kids and they told you some
'Cause
stuff
they-
about Dr. Finley, who you assume this
They
is.
did. And, you know, I heard some stuff about kind of what was going on, so I think that I could use the gossip to be my inspiration for this is who I need to take down, and her tech is the problem. I think that is... I rolled pretty damn well.
Hey.
It's 27.
Ooh. So, Shay, you start summoning your grave bugs to, the 7th floor of a New York building, but it's magic, so it works.
Grave bugs.
Yeah, grave bugs. So worms and centipedes also start crawling up her, but she's so like concentrating on something that she's not really paying attention as they crawl into, and start nibbling on both
I just
flesh
need
and
one or two of them to fuck up the electronics in there.
Yep, and it shorts out and stops. She's like, "What?" But they are also starting to swarm over the kind of steampunky control panel and starting to chew on things in there because Percy has the aspect or the discipline. My paper brain is fireproofed. It is not bug-proofed. So they actually go in there and start eating his paper brain.
Whoops.
At which point, this is off. This when I can get to this part faster, it's usually a much longer encounter because Percy has a BFG on his character sheet. But okay, Merc, I think you've played this adventure before. But yeah, so you still have Roombas but they're all kind of like, what do we do? What do we do? Because they are no longer being mind controlled by a mad scientist. But you do manage to stop the building from fully transforming into a steampunk robot from the 1850s.
That was the goal.
Sure.
Because as you find out later, friends, like, good job, guys. I mean, and you get a pass. Like, yeah, it's kind of conspicuous when the Cooper Union building almost turns into a steampunk robot. But, it's, you can't really, is it really property damage if that's what it was designed to do?
No.
And, none of the kids died, and none of the civilians
it an easy
died.
cover up.
And,
New
like,
York
yeah.
was gonna notice.
Listen, we
I
have the
did
blueprints.
ask what was the more important thing, and if the more important thing was the people, then we did our job.
Yep,
Well,
in general, yeah.
Cooter's gonna go to all those gears and rods and pulleys and everything.
Oh, yeah.
And if it's got a motor, I reckon I can fix it. And he's gonna do what he can to try and get it to transform back.
Put the building back. You all collectively hallucinated that.
Yep,
Right.
you could do that.
You're
Yeah,
all
no
on
problem.
drugs. Got them from the guys at the Cube.
No problem. Now that the mildly sentient building has had its brain eaten by bugs, it can really only be worked on manual, and it kind of and back into a school building. Eventually, Doctor finally is definitely just like sort of like sits on the ground, just gives up because like, oh, she tried. But she won't talk to you. She won't talk to the police. Eventually, what Fran tells you is that whatever she did on her computer before going up to the roof was to send her manifesto or ransom letter or whatever to the local papers, saying, if I don't get my funding, I'm going to go on a citywide rampage with my steampunk robot and kick down all the buildings in Midtown.
But now she doesn't have a steampunk robot.
Nope. And because her funding got cut when Cooper Union got financially screwed, so she was very desperate. This is also basically, and you also, if you look back at our computer, find basically her almost acceptance letter to Mwahaha. They're like, so we like your ideas. We're gonna give you a little something something to get started and impress us with how you use it. So whether or not she's officially now a union member is yet to be decided because she didn't technically succeed. And she is kind of going to jail for a while.
She could hang out with about half of the Spider-Man villains. It's about the same motivation. My funding's been cut. I'm going to do something really violent to get it back.
My funding!
I had never thought about it that way, but you are right.
What mad
It's
scientists
like
won't do.
Lizard and Green Goblin and Doc Ock. Like, it's a bunch of scientists that are like, you cut my funding. Damn it. I'm going to kill a bunch of people.
Why did they start robbing banks? Because they need funding for their experiments. But yeah, so she maybe failed to get to, you haven't heard from them, and so they have an interesting relationship with the Demon Hunters of New York City, because they are a union, and this is New York City. they're like someone's brought up before, they're not always evil here. Like they also have a tenuous relationship with the demon hunters, because they're also like, well, we don't want New York City to go to the demons and all that weird shit, because we don't want to lose our funding slash home, whatever. So, but yeah, it's sometimes they're the bad
They're
guys.
only allowed to get fucked up if they're the ones doing it.
Yes, they're sort of slowly, the enemy of my enemy is my not enemy. We don't know.
Tentative ally.
Tentative ally.
Important question then. Do I get some of those tickets? I gotta go see one of them Broadway shows now.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Which one do you want? We can. Yep.
I don't know. But, I mean, how many are there? What are they about?
A lot. She probably just has like a list that she makes for all the tourists. There's probably like a whole like PDF. No, it wouldn't be a PDF because it's Cooter. She will print out the PDF guide for Cooter, is like all the things we have set up. You know, if you want anything, you know, here are good places to eat. Here are good places for restaurant week. But yeah, they can set you up in a hotel. Because you know the hotels in New York are always great.
I mean, it's better than a shack in Alabama, so I'll tell you that.
Especially the ones that fund the construction of new gazebos.
Mhm.
That's a roundtable joke for anyone who was there for that adventure. Anywho,
Yeah, I got it.
yep. So yeah. When it gets time crunch, it's easy to start crunching these obstacles, and it's like, all right, so the robot doesn't get to Stompy Rampage. Oh well.
Nope.
I was saving up all those demon dice for that. Because he has chain guns, I think. Well, he's a massive stompy robot.
So there's a new strategy for you. Use up demon dice, give the DM all the demon dice, and then just stall for time.
Yes.
So that you have to crunch it down, so they never have time to use the demon dice against you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought of that one.
In this adventure, that totally works. It's
That was
like,
my game all the time, the whole time.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why we were doing all that roleplay, just to make sure there was no.
all that role playing and all that. Wait, what do I roll again? Yeah, that was all intentional.
Intentional.
Oh yeah. So yeah, this is Demon Hunters, and this in particular is Demon Hunters Take Manhattan. I have more modules in this setting, so maybe we'll see those later when there's someone's out, and because the next Exit to Eden plot, I kind of want everyone here at least for the start of it. So we'll try some other stuff. So yeah, thanks for watching our weird Demon Hunters game. I hope you had fun. And assuming I survive to see Next Gen, well, if I don't make it, then, Zoe will be there, and lots of people will be running this system for Gen Con. So, if you're interested in playing it, you can find this pretty book. I believe it's on Drive-Thru RPG. Probably in PDF form. Maybe not the fancy version, but definitely some version is on Drive-Thru RPG. Plus,
I got the PDF.
yeah, plus modules written by friends of ours.
Yeah, and the Fantasy Network's going to have the stores. It's been offline. I think it's supposed to be coming online this week, something like that.
Okay.
And so that if you go to the Fantasy Network and go to the store there, you'll find all this stuff there. And special dice and all kinds of fancy, cool stuff. And other modules and things like that.
Because me and Drac, and Blackfair is there too. We are on a Demon Hunters GM roundtable where we all just practice our modules on each other before cons. Like in my case, where my problem is fitting something in 3 hours. Yeah. So that's one of the reasons Exit to Eden is an open-ended timeline. Because I'm bad at that. If I ever do the Central Park one, that'll take at least two 3-hour sessions if I want to do the whole thing. Yikes. Anyway,
like do like a first half, second half.
That's a lot to organize, though. I'd rather just for the Gen Con ones, I'd rather just keep a 3-hour one, unless it's a special game or something. Because then someone has to block out 2 3-hour periods in their schedule, and so do I, and it's a But yeah, so we're on GM Roundtable, and a lot of our friends on that Discord, ask me on my Twitter if you want to be on that Discord, because we used to. We're a little slow now, but there's an apocalypse going on. So some of our friends have actually published their modules that we have helped them work on or playtest, and it's really fun. So that's me. I'm GM Miss Chrysala on Twitter and Discord and my Civi Twitch account and all the things. And that's me. So, Mark, where can we find you? Actually, yeah, you do stream.
I do stream.
You
Yeah,
do
I'm
stream.
actually going to be on Masters of the Metaverse on Monday as Bruno Hamilton, the 70-year-old badass grandfather, and will be, Zombie Orpheus Entertainment is streaming Mondays and Wednesdays and Thursdays right now for the foreseeable future. And Chris Odie is going to be on doing something tomorrow at some point. I'm not sure exactly when. I got to call him up and find out, but he'll be on tomorrow doing some streaming with his kids.
Cool.
So that'll be happening tomorrow, and then Metaverse Monday, and Tuesdays were dark at the moment. Wednesdays we've got Void Jumpers. I'm not ever seen on that one, but I'm running behind the scenes for Void Jumpers. And then Thursday is Zoe Game Night, and we'll be back at Pandemic Legacy this coming Thursday. So if you want to take some time out from actually dealing with a pandemic and pretend you can actually do something about it, you can actually participate and play with the Zoe staff on Pandemic Legacy on Thursdays. So that's me.
Cool. Yay. All right. Shay, who is you in real life?
Hi, I'm Dracus. I was playing Shay. This is the only consistent thing I've been doing recently. You can find me on several different social media platforms as actual Dracus. Sometime in the near future, my friends and I will be finishing up a 2-year-long 5e campaign on our Twitch channel. As soon as I manage to get things working with planning and school and plague. But yeah, so I'll link my channel in the chat and keep an eye out for that. But that's who I am.
All right. And next, going counterclockwise, is London. Who is you? Well, London and Victoria. Who is you? Oh, that because your names are reversed. Darn it. London and Victoria. Who are you?
Are they? Oh.
Oh,
Okay. Sorry.
I got
didn't have this
confused.
the right way. No, okay, yeah, I am Sunburst Wonder. I play London today. I don't know. I did recently get cast in a production of Lyssa Strata. Yeah, I'm gonna be Stradalise. It goes up next month as soon as I have like details because I know it's streamed, so I can actually plug a thing soon.
Yay!
But yeah, it's been a hard pandemic to be an actor. Yeah.
Even in New York City, which is not technically on fire right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's about to.
I mean, it's been metaphorically on fire.
We had a ton of schools shut down like 2 seconds after they opened.
Yeah, but they're not technically on fire.
That's true.
I mean, from a theater standpoint, every theater in New York's been shut down since March and isn't expected to open until next year. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's. But yeah, I finally got acting. Really excited about it.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so I will be. I'm really excited. It also turned out to be a really big part, which I'm really pleasantly surprised with. I thought it would be a bit part, but it's not, so that made me happy. Sorry. I'm very pleased with it. It's the end of the story, because I missed it. Okay, and my girlfriend.
Yes, I am Dark Dandy 13 on most social media platforms. I played Victoria tonight. I don't really have anything to plug. Thanks for watching. Thanks for having me.
At some point, our band will have a thing.
At some point.
Some point.
Working on demos. Nothing to show yet, but
nothing to show yet. But
Soon.
Refractory Period might have an online presence. I don't know.
Just let me know and we can share links and I can signal. Well, for all anyone reads me on social media, as I found out just how useless Facebook really is this week.
Yeah.
That
They put a photo.
I put up
Yeah.
I already had a Facebook page for Magic Fish Radio, so I'm like, oh, this has been doing nothing since 2012. I'll wake it up, and I'll invite 500 people to like it, and only 3 got the invite.
You have to add photos with all of your things. That
I
you
I
post.
noticed. That's what I started doing today, which is also why I made a save screen for this in 5 minutes. It's like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So
anything that can get people to respond with the word congratulations.
yes,
Really well to let everyone else see it too. So.
I've seen congrats
Yes,
again, by the way. I think I liked that post, and I'm like, oh, what happened? It's like, oh, yay! Good news! Good news in a time of play. Yeah, he's adorable. But yeah, congratulations. But yeah, I've seen people treat with or cheat with the congrats code because the algorithm is silly. Let's not. So yeah, all of
congrats gets your thing.
so, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's got an
So-
AI that's looking for stuff that it thinks basically that all of your friends are going to want to see more, and so it's trying to figure out. And so one of the clues is if somebody's wishing congratulations for a wedding or birth or whatever, those kinds of things, that's something that
Oh.
people probably want to know about. So it's like, oh, let's spread that. So
Yep.
one of the AI things in Facebook is looking for the word congratulations.
But so if you're watching this on Twitch, then if you go, look around our Twitch page, there are links to our YouTube channel, which is effectively our Twitch graveyard, but that's fine. We have these up for posterity. All of our old episodes of One Shots and Geese on Mars and Exit to Eden. And also a link to our Facebook page, which people may or may not look at. We'll see. Maybe I would start a Twitter, but it just feels like I'm screaming into the void at this point. But yeah, if we have a social media link, it'll be on our page. The Goose of Grillner Grove. Yeah, but it was at a Mars colony. It was fantastic.
Can
Honk.
we run that again at some point? Because I want to play it.
Yes, we can. Anywho, so thank y'all for watching. And I come back next week, and we will maybe be back in Eden System, or maybe we'll be back in New York City, or maybe we'll be being terrorized by an evil goose. We'll see. I'm flexible.
Or
This
maybe
is
I'll-
Magic Fish. Just keep swimming, everybody.
Okay.
Just keep swimming. All right. Bye.
Bye.